Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Matt from Foulball Productions. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have a special show. We've got Draco Argenteus here, my buddy Steven, 32 Flavors of Nickweiser, a murderer's row to talk about the action masterpiece Con Air, 1997's Con Air. One of my favorite movies. I've loved it since it came out pretty much. I saw it on VHS. I've never looked back. I don't know, watched it 20, 25 times over the years. It's one of my favorite films. And I've been wanting to get Steven on the channel and want to get, a conversation going with these two. And hey, all came together for Con Air. So welcome.
Con Air.
Thank you. This is gonna be a hell of a panel. I can already feel we got that Cage vibe all up in us now. This is gonna be good.
You know what I fucking love in that one is Cole Meany.
Oh man,
he is the best. He's in one of my favorite movies too. Layer Cake.
I've not seen it. I should now.
I've heard that so many times. I haven't seen it yet.
Classic. That was Daniel Craig's, like a big movie for Daniel Craig. Because I remember when they announced him for Bond, they were like, "This nobody." I was like, "This nobody? Has no one seen Layer Cake? It's genius."
Okay, I gotta watch Layer Cake then.
And I think he plays. He's Irish in it, and he's just such a badass in the mob, like in the like the cocaine trade in England.
I could hear it in the voice. I could already see it just off the voice alone. I mean,
dude,
perfect.
He's so badass, and I love him in Con Air. He's great. He's just like, of course you're having trouble finding him. He's off saving the rainforest or recycling his sandals or some shit. He's the fucking greatest. It's so much fun.
Was he in Star Trek too?
Yes.
Yeah. In Star Trek, because
it was Deep Space Nine, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, that guy's great.
Wow, you just brought me back. Like, whoa, he was.
I think DS9's had a big resurgence online recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Well, after what happened with STD, I would think that would definitely help contribute. Like, I need some better Star Trek in my life.
Yeah,
get the STDs off of me. Come on, get it off, get it off.
It's so perfect that it's Star Trek Discovery STD. It's just great because it's filthy and you don't want to catch it.
You want nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
Nope.
Not a goddamn thing. So when it was the first time you guys saw this, when did you like really get to experience the majesty that is Con Air?
I was hot dog. Let me think here. Probably around 12 or 13. And this was a few years after the movie came out because I was 9 or 10 when it came out, and I was living in a town that Svengoolie lives in called Berwyn, and I remember seeing the ad though when I lived in Berwyn. I'm like, wow, Nicolas Cage with long hair looks so cool and rugged. I didn't know anything about John Malkovich at the time. I knew about John Cusack, but then I saw the movie, and then I was around 12 or 13 when I finally saw a movie, and I was just like, holy crap, this movie's just go, go, go.
It is.
It doesn't let up, and I love that. And that was my true introduction to John Malkovich. I'm like, man, he's a hell of a villain. And it's funny because it's like a 90s version of 80s action, but you take out a little bit of the one-liners, but you have Nicolas Cage instead with that southern accent.
I love it. I love the southern accent.
You're more specific than Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna be Miss Alabama? In the beginning, the baby at the beginning. Do you mind him having a conversation here?
So good. Watching that
movie. It's so great.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. Watch that movie. Little did I know, I was watching it and I saw what I didn't know would be Dave Chappelle. But then, a year or two later, I saw my comment. I'm like, I've seen this guy in a movie. Which movie was it? I'm like, oh my God, Con Air. What the hell?
It's so funny to see him in there. What was that?
It's so good Chappelle was a part of that.
It's
awesome. In the 90s, you have so many superstars just scattered amongst all the good movies. And they're in all of them.
And he's new at this time. He's not even he's not Chappelle yet. There's no Chappelle show. There's none of the specials, none of it. He's just a cursory comedian. He's doing Half Baked. He's working, but he's not really the same guy. And for him to be you know, for him to just kind of like show up in this film like out of nowhere is great.
Yeah.
And he's hilarious. He's Pinball.
Honestly, with Pinball, for so long, I didn't know who died in the landing gear. Like I didn't make the connection because that whatever that body was that's supposed to look like Pinball did not look like Pinball at all. It was like out of a vampire movie where his life was sucked out of him, and he just looked like a totally different. Didn't look like Dave Chappelle at all. So it took me about 3 or 4 viewings of the movie to realize, oh, that's who that is. It was such a throwaway character. Pinball never stuck in my head. It's ridiculous to think about that, and I had to come clean with that.
Yeah, I think I may have froze there, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say Steven here. You know, I'm all right. What's up? He's all moving and such, and then Fall's just like, there.
You were super good still. It's like
I don't know. Now everything's.
Like he is so intently listening.
Well, now he's also just like.
Wait, there we go. Is that okay?
Dude, that was man. I can't wait to watch that on replay. No, he's stuck like.
Well, if you can hear me, I hope the visual won't be too distracting. If you guys can hear me, we'll just I don't know. I'll be behind the curtain.
No, let's roll with this. This is gonna get oh my god.
It's like a vaudeville act. You're like really fast and then super slow, and then really fast and then super slow.
It's been messing up with me all day. I tried to do a stream at like 10 a.m. this morning, and everything was all messed up, and I couldn't. It was such a bummer, such a pain in the ass. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my internet or if it's my computer.
The stream is racist. That's what it is. End of story. The stream is racist.
It doesn't like all this toxic white male energy. You know, it's too much.
It's interfering with your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly.
Your privilege is taking over, and it shows.
And it shows that it's frying the router. It radiates so powerfully.
Oh goddamn!
I love in this no Thoth. Oh well, Thoth ain't gonna be able to tonight.
Oh well, we'll survive.
We'll survive.
It would have been awesome to have had, but we got 4 good ones here.
Yeah, we got some rock stars here. I like it. We're down.
I could talk with Con Air like nobody's business. I was like young adult, 18, 19 when it first came out.
No.
And that was one of my first, that was one of my
How
first
old are you?
Favorite action movies.
Wait,
That's not needed to know.
Wait, you're older than me, like by a lot.
I thought he'd be like younger
age.
than me.
No, because I was like 13 when it came out. 97?
Wait. Yeah. I was thinking I was wrong.
Okay, I was like, what?
Like young adult, like not 18,
in his 50s?
Maybe like 16. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I've been great for my 50s. It was one of my favorite first action movies I really connected with. It was so limited in my household what I could watch. And that movie and then being from Texas, this guy coming out, Nicolas Cage, I've seen on things, and he's like, I'm like, oh my God, this guy, starts kicking shit, blowing shit up.
It's so awesome. And that run of Nick Cage in the 90s was excellent. I mean, you also had The Rock. I mean, right around that time. I think it was Face Off, of course.
Face Off is so bad. He
on.
was almost Superman. Superman lives. Like, it makes you wonder what could have been.
That's right.
He was red hot, Nicolas Cage. Like, he was the guy everyone, like, you had to be in a movie with him, or else you, like, it was just like, what's going on? Oh, Nicolas Cage. It's just like, you don't know about Nicolas Cage? Bro, what the hell's wrong with you, man?
Right? Yeah. Like, do you live under a rock? Literally?
He was.
It's the 90s.
Yeah, he was the biggest thing there was, like, at that time. Like, he was one of the biggest stars in the 90s, and there was a lot of big stars, especially like big action stars in the 90s.
Oh yeah. You had the Travoltas of the world who were peaking, and of course you had Schwarzenegger coming off like the True Lies and what's it called? Of the World, all that, the Erasers, you know. Yeah. And then all of a sudden,
Eraser.
Yeah, right. That was a movie.
That railgun.
I love the railgun with the X-ray scope that you could like see through walls, and they would always like target the heart.
They went through everything except refrigerators
right
in the movie.
Oh yeah.
You got behind a fridge and you're like safe.
And I love the idea that a gun that would fire so powerfully it would blow you across a room. You needed to hit the vital organ, otherwise, you wouldn't do any damage.
Yeah, it goes through everything else, but it finds soft matter and just like stops.
Yeah,
it doesn't go through that. It knocks you. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's
that's the beauty of movies like Erasers and your Con Airs is logic wasn't always coming into question either. Like you just had people like blow up and they blow up 200-300 feet away. You just went with it, and it's just like, man, that guy just blew away. Like nowadays, it's gotta be like a few feet, to keep with the realistic aspect of it, how it would happen in real life, rooted in reality.
My favorite thing about this movie is how over the top it is. But, but it takes it deadly seriously. Like it never winks.
Oh, absolutely. With
but like at the end, you've got a plane crashes on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yes, there's so much.
And that's not even the end of the movie. Then they go on like a chase on the fire trucks.
On a fire truck.
Hanging on the fire truck.
Through Las Vegas, yeah.
Through Las Vegas. And then it hits a money truck, and money goes boom.
Yeah, an armored truck loading at one of the casinos. It's like you guys just ruined Las Vegas for like 10 years.
I remember seeing them like, I guess this is near in the movie is where the plane started crash, and then like you mentioned, and here comes a whole other chase. I'm like, whoa! It was like the Billy Mason, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, and there's like nothing but cops and emergency response people, and yet like the only two people that go after them are like Nick Cage, who's not a cop at all, and Vince Larkin, who's like a marshal, like who've been through a whole bunch of shit. Like there's a whole bunch of sprightly cops ready to go. No, they got to take care of it.
That's true. Dude, there's so many that show up.
So many cops.
It's not like they haven't all been up for like 36 hours. No. They're like, take that squad and get them. They're like, we're good. And they go. It's like
they're so not the guys for the job. They had to steal the bikes to go chase them.
They did.
But you don't even question it. You don't even think about it. Like you just of course. Cyrus is getting away. You got to go get him.
Yeah. Did The Rock come out first or after this? I think The
Rock was 96. I think The Rock was 96. If it wasn't 96, it was earlier 97. Because if I remember, Con Air was like a summer type of flick. Which, if you look at the poster, that screams like May or June of 97. The summer vibe going on.
Back when they used to do.
He was coming right off The Rock. And he had just stole a Corvette and went to fucking San Francisco with the Corvette. So once he gets the bike in this movie, I'm like,
no, dude, it wasn't a Corvette. It wasn't a Corvette because remember when he crashes it, that guy goes, dude, you just trashed your Ferrari.
The ass kicker.
He is. It's close.
and he knocks the kid off the bike.
Is it edited? Can we cuss on this?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. No, you. I have to correct that line. He says, dude, you just fucked up your Ferrari.
Oh, that's right.
He goes, wasn't mine. And takes his bike, takes off. Oh,
it's great.
So good. So yeah, when he got the motorcycle in the end of Con Air, I was just like, well, I mean, he's already taken a plane, a car, another plane. He needs something with wheels.
Oh, thank you, Thoth. Appreciate that. Our hero.
Good call. It was 96. Well done.
Yep. 1 year before. That's a rollicking couple years, dude. You get The Rock and Con Air back to back.
Face Off was within a year or two of those too.
Yeah. Face Off was like 99, right? I think it was a little later.
Now we gotta find out. Now is where it gets spicy. I think. See, I swear I thought it was around
97.
Oh my god!
It was the same year.
Same year. Wow. Holy shit!
Cage, that's why the man.
That's why you can't forget him. He had like 7 number ones come out within like 4 years,
dude. And that's back when like action movies were fucking action movies. Like that was the event of the year.
Yeah,
like they teased it.
Like Avenger level,
and they were all originals too. Mm-hmm. Not to knock on adaptations because I'm a big fan of them, but it just shows you Hollywood was willing to take all these chances. They relied on star power and actually having to create an actual story over the top or not, you could tell they are at least trying to come up with a premise. It didn't need to be groundbreaking as long as the execution was what stuck the landing. Clearly, Con Air, your face-offs stuck the landing and then some. Because here, us guys are talking about them 2 decades plus later.
Yeah,
Right?
and I watch it like legit, like I don't know, every other year.
As you should.
And it's always a blast. Like we just talked about all that cool shit, and we didn't even mention Steve Buscemi yet.
Oh!
When they
Steve
take his
Buscemi.
mask off and that expression he has,
He's awesome.
it's so good. And it's like,
He's
then
so
I think about
he's-
playing it. It's like that face. It's totally just like, I'm gonna play with you. And he
He's
has like that
great.
little like.
Dude.
It's so good that it's Ving Rhames that's like the one nervous to take his mask off. It's like,
right.
we gonna let him out?
Diamond Dog.
Are you sure? Diamond Dog.
And you got, I love when what's his name? John Cusack is given like the rap sheet of all the guys, He's talks about Diamond Dog. He wrote a novel or wrote a book in prison called Thoughts in a Diamond Eye. They're talking to Denzel for the movie.
Yep.
Everything about it rules. Everything about it rules. Oh, it's just so great. Buscemi when like they're playing and like also remember like that they used Leonard Skinner, they used Sweet Home Alabama,
Yeah.
which for me was probably like the first time I'd ever really heard that song, maybe like on the radio here and there, but in that
Really?
context, oh yeah. Like in that context, it was so perfect. It's such a like
It was super perfect.
perfect.
It was Buscemi's character who had the line. He's sitting next to Poe and his friend.
Yeah.
Like define
Baby
irony. Define irony. A group of convicts drinking and partying on a plane, listening to a song made famous.
By a
Oh,
band.
plane
Oh
crash.
yeah,
That's
that's
nice.
I was
scene.
like, oh, it's good.
Dude, look at this. Look at what Lord Thoth just posted in the chat.
Dude. Oh my god, he's right. I remember.
It all came out in
That's
97.
crazy.
I could say I saw almost all those movies in a theater that year. My parents are big into movie theater, so
cool.
being 10 years old and having that lineup, like even though Tomorrow Never Dies wasn't my first Bond, but it was my first Bond in the theater. So for me, it has that place in my heart for saying, okay, this is my Bond at the theater moment. Because I was 5 or 6 when GoldenEye came out, and of course Air Force One. That was my dad, like, even though Air Force One was barely rated R, it must have just been language, but my dad, like, let me have the pass to see it.
Air Force One is so good.
I know.
Get off my plane.
Get off my plane. Like the idea that the president is like he's like the difference between the terrorists. Like he used to be in the Navy. It's like he's the president. Who gives a shit if he's in the Navy?
I remember when he was calling the White House, guys, this is the president. Yeah, sure.
Oh, that's right.
Thoth with Austin Powers.
Oh my God, Austin
Dude,
Powers.
97 was hopping, man.
What a year, dude. That was a hell of a year for movies.
Good gravy.
Damn. I bet the studios miss those days. I bet guys who work back, they're like, it was easy. No one called us racist. We had all the hookers and girls you could want.
It's
We
because they were
just
too
did
busy
action
working.
movie after action movie. What's
That was
that?
before they were too busy working. That was before everything went digital. Kids these days have no idea like the complexity of working with film compared to digital. Like
That's a good point.
they can air the amount of airs you're
Batman and
allowed.
Robin.
like-
Stay cool.
Whoa.
Underworld was 97 too?
Oh,
I thought that
wow.
was 99.
Wow. What year was that? I thought that was later.
Yeah, I thought that was a little later too. That's crazy.
I think
thought we had
Underworld was
it in high school.
99, but I could be wrong.
I love that movie, by the way. That's an awesome movie.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, what's her face? Rebecca?
Kate Beckinsale?
Oh no, Kate
Yeah.
Beckett. Yeah.
Yeah,
this
she's
is-
great.
This says 2003. Underworld.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I thought it was later because I remember I was like in high school in a basement smoking weed with some like of my buddies. So like I don't think
Who's that?
Just like smoke weed. Like, what's up with the vampires, man? They got like glow guns and shit. That's cool.
You know, I just realized for 97, while we're on the 97 subject, the Star Wars the special editions came out within a month or two of each other too. Like
that was 97.
That was 97.
20
I remember
years.
that because that was when it was THX and it had that big ring sound when you started the movie.
I went. You guys remember that Simpsons clip where Grandpa's sitting in the theater and it does the THX real loud, and he goes, it's so funny.
What was it the Simpsons? It was one where it was like it said that and it said and the audience is now deaf. I forgot. It was just like some I think it was
the Simpsons. Definitely, I think Simpsons. Yeah,
I think so. It seems like a
Thoth
Simpsons
confirmed
joke.
a comedy Underworld. Thoth, who was in that? I didn't see that comedy one. Now I'm kind of kicking myself.
I'll do a little Googling on that. See if we can pull up some.
Was that like a 90s hidden treasure? Like
what? Underworld 97.
Cause man, if there's a comedy Underworld and it has like some kick-ass lamp that I missed out on, like
Dennis Leary.
Bro, what?
Interesting.
Yeah, all right, man. 97 was hopping in every way.
Seriously.
Even the re-releases were good.
This is I guess this is the poster. I've never heard of this.
Me either.
Joe Mantegna is in it too.
Joe Mantegna. He's a quarterback, you idiot.
I said Joe Mantegna.
I said Joe Mantegna. Well, that's interesting. No, I don't know that one.
Huh. You guys know who also made their major picture debut in 97 with Con Air? Huge star.
Wait,
Danny Trejo.
That was his first movie.
That his debut?
That's his first major appearance for me. I'm sure he did stuff before that, but that was the first one of him. Like, I'm like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, he was so distinct. I remember him. I think he was in Desperado. That's where I remember him from.
Was he? Oh yeah.
Desperado.
See, I didn't watch Desperado.
That trilogy. All three of those are good.
Yeah.
I kind of tap out on the third one, the one with Johnny Depp.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah, that one gets a little silly for me. It's there's too many like faceless bad guys. It just kind of gets very generic actiony. Where I'm like, it was cool. Like Desperado was cool.
Like the best one.
They have they put together that team, and they got that guy who's like fighting like in some kind of ring like UFC style, and he breaks his leg. And then he does some big spinning kick with the broken leg to knock the guy out. Like it was like, oh, that guy's badass.
Man, I got to go back and see Desperado again, to be honest with you. I hadn't seen that in at least a decade.
It's pretty cool, but there's one scene that's kind of funny, like when Antonio Banderas is walking away from an explosion with Salma Hayek, but it's kind of shot from like a low angle, and you're like,
oh yeah,
taller than him.
That's like the cover on everything. They are the same height. It looks like.
Yeah, he's a little guy. It's like a little fella.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned you doing the impersonating of that kick, because that brings me to a point. Like when we watch these movies back then, it shows you how much we want to impersonate and to be these characters. You don't see that same energy nowhere as much with an STD or per se. Like you really don't. Not to bring up STD, it's just it happens to be relevant with the subject. We would all spend our time play fight with our friends, doing these moves. This is why would you want to do that? It's just dude, it's the most badass shit. Just a little thing of how special that time truly was. It isn't just about nostalgia, but the fact that you would want to you'd be inspired by that. I want to impersonate that, and how could you not? It was awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're talking about all these great movies from the '90s, back to back, all these action flicks. I mean. It's when they used to make movies for boys. They used to make movies for us.
Yeah, and encouraging masculinity.
Yeah. And we ate it up.
Here's dudes. Here's toxic bad guys. Here's good guys destroying the bad guys.
Yeah.
Movie over, and you got the chick.
Next. It was fun, and it was harmless. It didn't hurt anybody. Nothing was. It was just a fun ride. And look at me, how much we like it. We're carrying it 20 years later, 20 plus years later.
Oh, they still carry weight. They're better than movies now. Easily. Dude, the whole tone of Nicolas Cage, like you were talking about the impersonating, when he was like his friend in the end, and he's like, and I got to go to the front of the front of the plane. He's turning around and he's walking. He like clubs that one guy, and the one guy pulls the gun out and shoots him, and he has the bandage on. Everyone remembers watching him walk.
Where you going, little big boy?
And just like goes right through his arm and like didn't even phase him. Just kept walking. I'm like, oh man, I gotta have that Nicolas Cage walk next time something's going on. He's like, you can't phase me. Like, shoot me, you won't phase me. It's so said it, cool. You know? Yeah.
And it was so funny too. Like there was that. Remember, like the dude who like dressed up like the girl, like wearing the dress, like yeah. And he goes to like punch her, and she goes, he goes,
yeah, smacks. That's right up. Yeah, it's so good. It's like
that's pretty
like
progressive.
Open hand, like palmed her super hard. It was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, as far as representation is concerned, that's like transgender representation right there.
Oh, yeah, anything. It's respect. He's like, I won't punch a man who thinks he's a woman.
Yeah,
I'm gonna slap him.
Yeah. You don't treat women like that.
Oh my god, yeah, with Danny when he came back at him, it was so good. Just on the cage.
It's like this Southern gentleman is a superhero.
Oh, I know, right? It shows you, yes, these guys were super masculine, but they still respected the women. They still were all about respect.
The good ones did, yeah.
Yeah.
And they showed you both. Like we said, like Danny Trejo, his name was Johnny 23. Because like every one of his hearts, he's like, I have a heart for every one of my bitches. That's the translation.
Johnny 600 if they knew the truth.
Exactly, yeah. And like, that's dark. Like, oh man, that guy's fucking messed up.
That's dark. And then even
you see him kick his ass later, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, and even like Cyrus the Virus is like, what do you say? Like, I despise rapists. To me, you're somewhere between a cockroach and that white stuff that accumulates on the side of your mouth when you're really thirsty.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good
In
line.
your case, I'll make an exception.
It was so good.
That dialogue was razor sharp, man.
Great.
Like those lines, like they stick with, once again, what's the memorability of the movies between the impersonations and the dialogue. The lines just like they stick with you, and you're like, once again, it's one of those things where you end up unintentionally quoting the movies on your own
all the time.
The movie is super quotable. Once again, another timeless factor that plays into Con Air. Like, Jesus Christ.
The last of the Mohicans is burning, man.
He's talking. He's a smart ass the whole time he's on that plane.
The whole time.
Pinball is. He's like coughing the shit up. He's
Yeah.
like, hey, we make it through this. What do you call him? Like King Chief or something?
Yeah. Hey, Chief.
Don't hold a grudge.
Don't hold a grudge.
Spray shit all over him, lights him on fire. He's like, that motherfucker's spontaneous combustion. Get me out of here.
He's doing the YMCA. Go, Pinball, go. Pull the lever.
He's like getting hit in the back.
Yeah.
You think about it, like Chappelle's a skinny dude. You get like one hard club to the back. I don't think he's gonna one more of those like the '90s movies, just how they're unrealistic. He's not gonna stay there and pull 3 more levers. He's gonna bend over backward because you just broke his fucking spine. But determined bad guy.
Freedom was in his heart, and it gave him
exactly
extra, goal, an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it took the landing gear crushing him to crush his spirit.
Adrenaline rush and a can-do attitude.
Dude, I love. Oh no!
Oh,
that's a bummer, Eric. That's bad news. Hail, by the way. Hi, Eric K. Eric K is a mod for Nerdrotic, which is a channel we all love. But that is a bummer, man. I kind of felt like that was coming. You rats. Well, I guess it's close enough. I can still cancel my hotel, but dang, I wanted to go. I've been looking forward to that.
There's so little to look forward to.
It's a good decision for his family. All good. Oh, I mean, it's, I guess it's a smart play. It's a smart play. And Hale, just another red shirt. Another member of the proud member of the Phantom Menace joining us. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. More Con Air fans. Hell yeah.
There's a lot of them.
It's a great movie, man. It's a great movie. And it's perfectly paced. Like it never gets boring. And like, I swear to God, this is going to be a little embarrassing, but the last time I watched it was like a few months ago when I did a stream with my buddy Jared. We were just talking about action movies overall. I swear to God, at the end, I like legit got choked up. Like
with the song, dude. It's the song. It's the song. It's the song. I can't hear that song when I'm driving down the highway and not get choked up, man. You said it to the tone of Nicolas Cage meeting up with his daughter for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry like a little girl.
What don't want to cook? What is the song? How's it go?
I don't want to sing it. You know it.
I can't
cry right now.
I'm thinking of the song. I started thinking about the. I got it confused with the Aerosmith song. Don't want to close my.
That's the Armageddon cry.
Yeah, it's the Armageddon cry song.
And Armageddon was 99, right? Speaking of the 90s.
Yeah,
again.
that was Armageddon was
another
99.
one.
Had no idea how
Totally
good we
different
had it.
people too. Like, because you look at The Rock and Con Air, there's a lot of carryover. You know, there's a lot of the same characters.
Oh,
the dude who shoots him is also on the squad team in The Rock that like fights him in the end.
Wait, what was that? Sorry, I got distracted for a second. What was it?
There's a lot of carryover to the cast from Con Air to The Rock, for example.
Oh yeah,
But unlike Armageddon, like a whole new crew of new '90s stars that are like gonna make their own.
That's
you know?
true. Owen Wilson,
Whole new crew.
Ben Affleck.
There's so many in that one. Michael Clark Duncan's in that one.
Michael Clark Duncan. You got Liv Tyler.
Billy Bob Thornton.
I mean, Liv Tyler. That was pre Lord of the Rings, dude. I mean, she was still like at that point, she was still just Steven Tyler's daughter.
Yeah,
and then she goes
that was
on
like
to
her first big for me. I think.
Yeah,
I think she did some teen stuff before that, but I wasn't allowed to watch those movies.
She did some things. I think some indie flicks and shit.
Yeah.
But like, cause actually, you know what I know? I happen to know one movie that she did because I had my first little personal experience to it when it came on like HBO.
Share it with everybody.
It was it was about like it was like End of the Innocents or some shit like that where she like loses her virginity. And like she was like nude in it, and I was like, "What's this?" I like they figured it out. You know, the wires connected, and like I knew you know what I mean. You just had that magical moment where it all clicks. That was thanks, Liv Tyler. Thanks for making me a man.
Lady.
That's a woman right there. She turned me into a man.
That's funny.
were you getting those tinglies there?
What was the? I'm gonna look it up.
Getting those man tingles early on.
Stealing Beauty in 1996.
I don't think I saw that one.
I just saw it because there was nudity in it, and it was on late night on like
you're like channel scam. Whoa,
it's her and Rachel Weisz, the two of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Rachel Weisz was in something that the first thing I really saw her in was The Mummy. That was my first like Rachel Weisz experience.
You'd have to imagine though that they'd be around. You know what I mean? Like,
you never know. There's those big firsts these guys are doing.
I mean, I just discovered that girl Anya Taylor-Joy in Queen's Gambit. Have you seen that, Nick?
Which one is it called again?
Queen's Gambit. It's a show on Netflix.
I've not seen it, but it's
one of my favorite things that's out there right now, man. It's so good. I burned through it, unfortunately. I like ran through it because me and Lindsay did a stream about it, so we like talked about it. But it's about this girl who plays chess. She's like a chess prodigy, and it came out on Netflix. So you'd think like that would make it like super woke and like intersectional, but it's not. It's actually based on a novel by this guy Walter Tevis, who wrote The Hustler and The Color of Money. Those two movies that are like excellent pool movies. And this one's about chess. Dude, it's excellent. It's excellent. And it's so not intersectional. At times, the girl is even kind of like, could they just stop making it a big deal that I'm a girl? I just want to play chess.
Dude, that already, that's a selling point. I'm going to tell my missus, like, hey, we got some shit to check out. So.
It's a good show, dude. And it's like, it's popping right now. And the girl in it, she's like 24 or something like that. She's a crusher. Really good.
Okay, yeah. I'm sold, dude.
Yeah,
you got me. Once again, you got me.
Love it.
What was that 90s chess movie with Denzel?
Oh,
it's like Mr. Fisher? No.
Oh, Searching for Bobby Fischer?
Searching for Bobby Fischer? That's Denzel, right? I think that was a chess movie. I think I remember that. You said chess, and I'm like in the theme of the 90s right now, and it's just like peeking up from behind
93. No, that's 93. Not Denzel. It's Ben Kingsley, Joe Montana again, and it's Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. That's what I was thinking of.
Yes. Lord Thought is out. Oh, Lord Thoth left.
He did.
Well, thanks for joining us, buddy. I don't know if you're still here, man, but it's good to see you. Always good to have you, buddy. What was he saying? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I never saw that. Did you ever see that? The Bobby Fischer movie?
I did not.
I mean, it's been a while. It was good. I haven't seen it in a while.
I think
it reminded me of Chess, and I was like, huh.
He's a real
chess movie.
Yeah,
they did everything in the 90s. They did everything in the 90s.
Except Denzel didn't do too much. It was like his year of relaxing a little.
I think The Hurricane was in the 90s, and that's one of my favorite Denzel movies there is.
That's a good movie.
The Hurricane is such a good movie.
It is. Who directed that?
I couldn't tell you.
Hey, Draco, you dead?
Isn't it? What's his name? Isn't it? Spike Lee.
I don't think so.
No, it's Norman Jewison.
Yeah,
he's on call. All right.
What did he did? He did something really good. There's something he did that I loved. He did In the Heat of the Night, which is it's a good movie with what's his name?
It's been so long since I've seen that I can't even remember it.
What is his name? Sidney Poitier. He did The Hurricane, or we just pointed out Moonstruck. Something that I like myself though, so it's like a personal favorite of mine.
I'm going to.
I don't know. He did the nothing. I thought I had like one of his DVDs on my wall. I guess not.
So you thought?
Do you guys still? Yeah, I know, right? Do you guys still collect physical media?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Foulball, and I'm sure you're aware of this YouTuber, Comics Division. He's on Friday Night Tights.
Hail
He
Comics.
did yeah, right. Hail to Comics Division. He did an awesome video on the importance of physical media. I'll post the link on the private chat.
Cool.
But yeah, and I'm a big fan of collecting physical media. Big fan. And comics brought up an awesome point. Like, if people were to transfer it to digital, if the property that became problematic all of a sudden, they could just wipe it away out of existence. Whereas the physical, you can't get rid of it. If it's all in our each individual hands, we still have it and we still remember it.
That's interesting because I found a cache of DVDs at this thrift store the other night, and it was so many, and I was like, I bet I could scoop up like 30 for $30 because no one's buying these here. I was like, maybe I should get them, but I'm like, what do I need physical media for? It seems so archaic.
You would think. I mean, the thing is, I personally have always valued the importance of physical media. One, I like owning things, and maybe that could be a habit. I've actually tried to break away. Like, I've actually legitimately tried. Like, I've bought a movie or two on digital. Same with CD, because I'm a big album collector as well. And there's just something about it. Just maybe it's a me problem, but it just feels so.
Not a you problem.
It's
I like the preservation of like having my own.
It feels
my
good.
own substance that like if something happens, I could still participate in all of my media while being over here when the whole cloud of whatever was ruined or fell apart is over there.
Yeah, which I mean, it's gonna happen eventually, right? But I mean, if the whole system breaks down to the point, if the machine breaks down, we break down. That's Platoon.
Not me. I can watch Con Air on my laptop.
Yeah, no, yeah.
See,
yeah. I mean, I've got a digital copy of Con Air.
Well, that still counts, right? It's just living in this digital age. I think having a digital copy outside of the CD is still your own personal media because you're not streaming it directly, right? Like, it's still yours. So that's what I'm classifying all mine as because I have that. I don't have a lot of DVDs. I have a few of my classic favorites, like the Lord of the Rings extended editions when that came out.
Oh, the Lord of the Rings.
With the cardboard box. You had to put them in and mail in. Oh, I had to mail in. It took 8 weeks for it to come after I purchased Return of the King. And then they all came in, and I finally put them in the sleeve, and I have them right in a little shelf over there.
Dude, you know they're releasing that in 4K.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they extended in 4K. I was like, homeboy might be buying a box set. I might be buying a box set for myself. Although, like, I don't even, my DVD player is not even plugged in. Like, I never look at physical media, ever.
You're on your computer right now.
I doesn't have a DVD player.
Most CD-ROMs are all compatible with like DVD writing now. Yeah.
CD-ROM. This is an iMac, baby. There's no.
I built my computer. I got a CD slide in my computer still.
You do?
I don't have a slot in my desktop. I operate on desktop, but underneath my TV, we got the PlayStation, and that plays Blu-ray and DVD. And I've always another thing I failed to mention. This is something Robert Meyer Burnett brings up a lot: is the special features. Especially when they're good.
Features, yes.
And physical media represents that aspect the best. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy where if I can watch a movie that happens to be okay from Redbox, and that's like, okay, it's just 2 boxes, all right. But if I really like the movie, I want to go deeper. I want to know more of what led into the making of the movie. And that's where special features are awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I was not the craziest fan of 03's Ben Affleck Daredevil, but I'm a big fan of the comic book incarnation, so I saw it anyways. However,
is that Frank Miller? Frank Miller did like a run of Daredevil?
1980s. He did a run, a big run of comics that led to his run on The Dark Knight Returns. Like, basically, DC saw what he was doing at Marvel. I'm like, dude, your Daredevil stuff is awesome. You gotta come here and do Batman with us. Right. And when he did Batman, he ended up doing The Dark Knight Returns. And that was after years, and actually, I should say decades, of Batman being more, what we saw in the 1966 version. So it was perfectly timed that The Dark Knight Returns came out when it did, because that was basically what was the inspiration, to a degree, in terms of the tonality, for what led to the 1989 Tim Burton movie.
Yeah,
because Batman was becoming dark again after that happened. Then before you know, you had Jim Starlin doing stories like A Death in the Family.
Yeah,
very notable, important stories. So yeah, The Dark Knight Returns and Frank Miller were gateways. But yeah, back to Daredevil. The special features are awesome. They're awesome, and they actually have a director's cut. Usually, when most director's cuts happen, it's just like a few minutes of footage, just like a little add-ins to scenes that were already there. However, the director's cut of Daredevil adds in whole new layers of story.
Really,
I mean, there's still some flaws, big time in the movie, but there's a whole subplot involving Matt Murdock and Coolio. Remember Coolio?
Oh wow!
Of course, he's
Coolio.
In the movie.
He's in the movie.
I feel like that was after. That was way before Daredevil, though. They tried to bring him back.
They did.
Well,
they tried.
When was Daredevil? Like 2000?
Ben Affleck, 2003.
Said, right?
Ben Affleck, 2003.
Oh, yeah. That's like a decade later.
Yeah. So Matt Murdock had this whole subplot with Coolio. And, like, in the movie, we all know Karen Page from the Netflix show. And in the Ben Affleck movie, she made a phone call to Matt, and that's all we heard of her. Except in this movie, she actually appears. So, like, this director's cut was an actual director's cut.
How hot is the chick who plays her on the show? That, like, dancer girl, whatever, like the one who's in The Office? Like, on the
Are you talking about the Netflix Karen Page?
Yeah.
God, what's her name again?
I don't know, but she's great looking. She's so statuesque. I guess she's like a dancer. Her legs are amazing. She's a very attractive woman.
I'm looking up Karen Page's character right now, and Deborah Ann Wool. She was on some other show? Was it that? God, what show was it? I can't remember. True Blood. She was on True Blood. I saw the first.
She? Okay.
Who was she on that?
I had seen the first season of that, and I didn't go beyond it. I can't remember why I didn't. I thought it was pretty good.
It was pretty good for a few seasons. Who was she in True Blood? I don't know who. I never watched the Daredevil.
Okay, let's.
Netflix. The Daredevil show's good, dude. The show's good.
Oh, I heard
Daredevil's great.
Another one of those shows.
First show's really good.
Didn't make it.
I wanted to get to Justin of the Red Shirts comment here. He goes, "Look what happened to Warner Brother cartoons in the 80s and 90s. They censored them to the point where none of the gags made sense. That's why I started buying DVDs." Do you guys know what he's talking about? I'm not familiar with that.
I think. All right, correct me if I'm wrong here, but
Which
I think this could. Speedy Gonzalez. Enough said. Think about, what do you hear about Speedy Gonzalez nowadays? Andale. That character that the PC type of people are getting so offended at. But ironically enough, Mexican culture embraced Speedy Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Because
they embraced the hell of him. But
it's not demeaning. It's like, oh, there's a little Mexican mouse who speaks Spanish.
That's offensive.
It's like, how can you be offended by? I don't get it.
I don't try to. You're already
I
thinking
get it.
too hard about
I get
it.
what I get why they're mad, because it's just if they don't control the representation, then it's a problem. That's all it is. It's just about control.
Yeah, it's a good thing we have those Blu-rays and those DVDs, so we can we have those memories to live with. If we feel like we need to pass it on to someone else, at least that memory still lives on. If we all went to digital, a lot of these properties, aka like Gone with the Wind, that become somehow problematic 100 years later, we can lose all this stuff. I mean, I know that sounds a little exaggerated.
Didn't they remove? Yeah, we could. Didn't they remove Gone with the Wind from some streaming services a little bit ago?
For a few weeks, they removed Gone with the Wind, except then they put it back on with a disclaimer, because everything now needs to have a disclaimer. It's
you mean like no movie ever that doesn't have a disclaimer? That was a bad joke. Every fucking movie has a disclaimer at the beginning, every one of them.
I give it a joke. It's just like how it's funny, but also equally frustrating.
Yeah, just too obvious. It's like, you know what, you're right. That's funny, but it's not funny because I don't have time to laugh at it. Yeah, that's where it is with this bullshit right now. It's so frustrating.
It's disturbing. It's disturbing at times where it's like they are literally trying to rewrite history. It's like a communist regime coming in and like scratching out like the names of the people who built the country so they could just wipe the whole history clean and start fresh. It's like they're kind of trying to do that.
There was never a Speedy Gonzalez cartoon.
Yeah,
you're wrong. It's like,
wipe that from your memory.
It was funny. Relax.
I think they're gonna bank on like the Mandela effect. They're trying to wipe out our collective memories.
So there's going to be a version with the Mandela effect. There's going to be a version where people remember watching Con Air where Danny's Trejo didn't get removed.
Where it was an all-male lead.
Oh, shit. Draco's back.
Draco's back. Hell yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, bud.
All good, brother. All good. Welcome back, my friend. Good to have you.
Thank you. Are we middle of movie yet?
We
went off on several tangents.
Yep, we've made it at least to the back, to the front, once over.
Yeah, we can get back to it though. I got it going on my end. I'm at the scene where John Cusack finds like all that stuff in Cyrus's cell. Right?
Cyrus the virus.
Meet Carson City.
It's like,
nobody touching anything.
I'll be right back.
Be right back. I love on my most recent watch. I love that because I love what's so great about these action movies, right? So it's like that happens, and then the guy goes, "Hey, told you not to touch anything," and he opens up the box, and it's a bomb. Right. And it goes off and kills all those guards.
Yeah.
And that's the last time the movie deals with that.
Yeah. Oh, that happens so much in those 90s movies, man.
Oh, yeah. They would just leave that plot thread dangling, and you just went with it.
It was like we moved on.
And those were three men that died. Like, I guess he doesn't have to fill out like a police report or like, he's not traumatized by having almost died, and like the splattered bodies are all over like the hallway. Like,
you knew it was a mess.
Yeah.
You knew it was a mess.
It doesn't even
I love that cop's face too when he's like, "Don't touch anything." Grabbing the box. I thought he said don't touch anything, and he's like, "Bleh."
He gives that look like, whatever.
I'm like,
I do whatever I want.
What is wrong with you?
It's great. And he goes, "Whoa." And that like shocked look on his face.
Larkin don't care. Larkin survived.
And then
right. It does. Larkin survived. That's what
he
matters.
survived the shrapnel directly over his head.
Yeah, when like the thing like is right over his head.
Thing. He's a man's man.
Oh yeah, like, when he was on the door and
anybody else think that looked like a fan blade?
No, I know what it was. It wasn't. It was the lock on the door. It was like the whole, like the lock mechanism and the I want to.
It had to be part of the door, but when he gets up and I'm looking at it, it looks like it's got a hub and it was a piece of sheet metal, and I'm going, that could have been a fan.
God damn.
I'm gonna pull it up on the Hulu real quick.
Yeah, please.
Because I love that sequence, but it is just funny because like the movie plays it like, well, he's fine, so don't worry.
The dude's face,
Dude,
like, you know, you're all gonna die when he's like.
Dave Chappelle gets left behind and then we never see or hear from him again.
Wait, like you hear something that sounds like a damn plane taking off.
Talking to the chick.
That's
so funny.
He's trying to make all the moves, and also he gets left behind, and we never hear about him again.
Well, he gets run over.
Oh yeah, he did.
He like falls.
No, he gets run over. He gets.
That's what happened to
Pinball. Up into the wheels. And
Too bad. I like.
Now you're back on.
I love when he walks up to the chick in the hangar, and he's like, "Ooh, you got the prettiest eyes a man's seen from 5 to 10."
Yeah, you got the prettiest eyes.
You nailed it.
5 to 10. She goes, "What do you work for the prison?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a cop. Department of Corrections." Got me slipping.
A cop. Oh my god.
It's awesome. Here we go. This is the thing. You see, it's the lock on the door.
Dude, that piece of
it is a little piece of shrapnel.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like there's like the lock, like you see the key and then the big metal that goes over the door handle. Oh. Dude, one of the things I love about this movie that is so funny is like the performances have no business being as good as they are.
Oh, I know, right?
Well, that's why it's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like good actors playing just outrageous circumstances.
Outrageous.
Completely outrageous.
It's so over the top,
so
and
worth
they play it dead seriously. I mean, like, how many Oscar nominees are in that movie? You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing?
There's at least one if we go down the list.
Well, okay, let's see. Has John Cusack ever been nominated?
I feel like John Cusack would have been nominated at least something. And obviously John Malkovich for being John Malkovich.
Yeah, John Malkovich has won one, I believe, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That movie was the John Malkovich coming out party for me.
Oh, right? That was my
anything
gateway.
of him, seen anything, and then he's this badass bad guy. I'm like, who is this? Who is this white bald guy? Is dangerous.
Yep, Smarter. That was my gateway to Malkovich, was that movie. I'm just like, who is this guy? And I've not forgotten him since. Like,
no, never.
It's crazy. It makes me wonder how he would have been had Sam Raimi had continued his Spider-Man movies. What John Malkovich would have been like had he had been the Vulture, which obviously we all know Michael Keaton got the role for the MCU story instead. But originally Sam Raimi had John Malkovich in mind. So it's just one of those things that it makes you wonder, because obviously both are different but great, excellent actors. But John Malkovich definitely would have been his own killer thing, and there's no denying that. Like,
oh yeah.
You're right, though, by the way. John Cusack has never been nominated for an Oscar.
What? Bro?
I didn't think so. I wanted to say he's deserved some in my head, but I don't think he'd ever gotten one.
He got
He's one of my favorite actors.
I love him. I mean, his politics can about that, but
that's why I respect the actor as the
respect
actor.
the actor.
I don't
Separate
give
the
a
art
shit
from
what
the
you
artist.
do in your real life, buddy.
I don't care. The Golden Globe. Sorry, I got a Golden Globe nominee for High Fidelity.
Okay.
All right. I wasn't
I don't see it, but okay.
What were you saying, Draco?
What I was going to say is that as much as we want to give these guys some Oscars, but the thing is what we have some real meat as character actors, or at least actors that you've seen in so many roles. I mean, this is like if you remember Hollywood films.
Oh, like The Company.
Hollywood films would have like 13 A and B list actors in one film, and the only reason that you got that much talent in there is because Hollywood Films had put this thing together and signed on just a bunch of talent to it. And this is like that because everybody knows Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, John Malkovich, Steve Buscemi, Ving Rhames, Cole Meany, Danny Trejo, Powers Booth, MC Gainey.
Dave man, Pell. I love that guy.
Mikelty Williamson, Rachel Ticotin. Some of the other names they go further down the list. I think Jose Zuniga has been in a few things. One of the DEA agents that they put on the plane.
Who's Powers Booth? Who is that?
Monica Potter. She was in the first Saw. I'm actually going through the list
I
right
know.
now,
Yeah,
man.
Monica Potter.
She's so
Man, I had a
hot.
crush on Monica Potter my whole childhood.
So much. I used to work at this cheese spot in LA, and the woman who ran it knew her, and she would come in every once in a while, and I would just kind of like freeze.
You know Monica Potter?
Feminine and the preeminence of feminine perfection.
Yes, just
I would.
as pretty as a girl could be.
Yeah. You're a pretty lady.
Still looking good too. Still looking good.
Let's see. Well,
Yeah.
She
was in a show Parenthood the last I saw her in, I believe.
I
I believe
she
it was
like-
Parenthood.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think her performance was really well received. I
Oh,
think
that
she
show is
got,
great. There's one
Emmys.
actress that looks just like Monica Potter, and I'm hoping I'm not mistaken.
No,
right
it
now.
is. It's her.
It is?
It's
Okay,
her.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up, guys. So I'm looking at a fun fact here on Con Air.
Nice.
And it mentions on the DVD commentary of Chappelle's show and later on Inside the Actors Studio, Dave Chappelle recounted that he improvised most of his lines in Con Air.
I knew it.
I would not put that past him whatsoever.
His lines are so funny.
They're so uniquely him. I was like, the writer didn't write this movie and then Chappelle lines. He didn't.
like-
he didn't write
Nope.
that.
When he goes to give the gun back to Malkovich, he goes, "Hey, Cyrus, you didn't mean all that 2-bit Negro crackhead stuff, did you?" And he goes, "Give me that gun." He goes, "Hell yes, I meant it."
Yeah, as he's putting it in his pocket, it's so good because he was so clear. Give me that
It
gun.
was so great.
Hell yes, I meant it. Anyway, this and this and this. It's so.
And he goes, when Pinball introduced himself, "I'm an armed robber, arsonist. You know, I'm a hell of a nice guy. Just got caught." Oh, shucks.
Shit, son. Yeah, Draco.
Yes.
So we were talking earlier about, and I'd love for your take on this. We were talking a lot about like how much Con Air represented so many things, from like the over the topness where you just went with it to, and nowadays everything would be questioned about its lack of realisticness to like. When you would see like guys like Nicolas Cage and John Malkovich, they would do all these cool moves and say all these slick one-liners. We wanted to like impersonate and be those characters, and we don't get anywhere near of that as much in today's entertainment. I'm curious on your take on that.
Well, it's a Jerry Bruckheimer film. Is there any
Damn right.
question of what you expect from a Jerry Bruckheimer film? I mean, the man has ushered in dozens of movies with so many questions that come up in the films. It's not as if you're asking for a bunch of if you're asking for a bunch of logical consistency, if you're denying contrived conveniences or something like that. But what is generally brought out by the directors of these films is the idea of you do not care. You even brought that up right when I got back. Why do you? How can you not care about the three dumb guards, the three guards who lost their lives in that incident, just as long as your hero character survives? In any other thing, if this were a drama or something like that, it'd be meaningful. It'd be a significant loss. But this is a Bruckheimer film. This is directed by Simon West.
Mm-hmm.
This is an action flick. There's nothing about this that isn't about punching it up, testosterone, even for the ladies. It's all about just. It's more about the fun, because how can you think about the actual death count that this movie produces, which it was derided for.
There's a lot of people that die in there. Like when they're in the desert, when all those soldiers, the National Guard, they like wipe out like a battalion of National Guardsmen.
There's that.
And the movie just moves on. Doesn't really.
The death count was
Vegas.
Right in Vegas.
Oh God, the Vegas dead, the body counts and the destruction.
Steven, your mic, buddy. You pulled your mic out.
Whoa.
Hey-o.
The body count, the destruction,
it's all pop.
The destruction in Vegas, like the everything. It's just like again, nowadays you need a funeral scene for each and every part of all that. Whereas this movie, just they roll with it.
And
Right.
the idea like that they wouldn't shoot the plane down because Cameron Poe might be a nice guy.
Well, it's also the guard.
It's so
There's
ridiculous.
also the guards on the plane. He's like,
Yeah.
you can't shoot down 50 convicts because we have 2 guards on a plane, regardless of if it's a plane that's gonna fly into Las Vegas. No, and you're like, I'm buying this. Let's keep
It's
going.
like,
Yeah, right?
Let's keep
Think
going.
about it.
You even get the throwaway. Hey, guys, you got the throwaway line. So we made it. So that was a good decision than not shooting it down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it worked out much better this way.
We're not much better this
Worked
way.
out
Yeah,
much
that's-
And I love when Cole Meany walks over to him. He goes, "You okay?" He goes, "No." He's like, "Good."
Oh.
And he gives him the keys back to the Corvette. He goes, "I know a good body shop in Fresno." If that's
It doesn't matter. I was getting bored of that car anyway. Oh,
worked
then it
out very
out
nicely then.
as kicker.
Can't be my car. I left my back at the office.
at the office.
When
I
this
love
is
that.
over, so are
In
you,
that
you little
shot-
shit.
And that shot, like the whole desert, there's all 3 of them standing there, and the car like just right in front of them. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
it's
They
too
don't
good.
jump out of the way.
Too good. And the plane's going this way, but somehow the car does this.
It doesn't matter. It was framed just for that moment.
Oh,
Gotta
it's
get your
perfectly
nose up.
framed.
Go ahead.
Through the tower, falls off of the cord. There are the 3 guys. Boom.
Yeah, it does like a single flip, and it lands right on the top.
It's the greatest thing ever, and it's just so like everything about it. Like when Nicolas Cage says, like, on any other day that might seem strange, and it's like the car being dragged behind, and it's like they just.
Yes.
Oh, that southern accent of Nicolas Cage is the greatest fucking
Every little thing they could have done to ramp it up, they did.
You have a problem with the Southern Prod Cage?
No, I love it. I remember my uncle when I was growing up said, like, he talked about, he's like, he's trying to do this Southern thing. It's not really working. And I hadn't seen it. And then I saw it and I was like, I don't know. I really liked it.
Well, I'm going to show you that God does exist. It was something along those lines. I might be paraphrasing, but it was, was it really?
No, that was
yes.
it. That was it.
Okay.
That was it.
perfect.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I
You're not
remember
that
the
guy
line before
anymore.
that.
You're a convict.
Oh, yeah, you're a convict. Man, all the once again.
Damn it, Poe.
Can you imagine, being Nicolas Cage and rehearsing these lines? But yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Like, that sounds great. Like, I always wonder how much.
can't. Why I'm
Like,
an
actually,
actor.
Nick,
I would
yeah.
love to have been the star of Con Air. If
Oh,
you're asking.
yeah.
Compared to the scripts we read nowadays, I would kill for that. I would
Right?
kill for one-liners.
Give me some corny, like all-American hero line that I get to say with the Southern accent.
Oh shit!
On,
Latino
bro.
Slant is here.
On.
What's up, Latino Slant? Hail, brother.
Hey,
Latino Slant's another good dude. He's Steven. He's another Angelino, actually, and his
Oh, I'm
wife's an
sorry.
actress. She's got a thing at Center Theater now.
Oh, that's
they're
fun.
Yeah, it's some. What is it, Latino? Can you put that in the chat? What she's
Yeah.
doing? We can even promote it. We even put it in, like, it'll link it. But yeah, it's like she's like, she must be. I was like, she must be pretty good if she's at Center Theater. She was like,
That's great.
That's no joke. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the Broadway of LA, as they say. Draco, you were making a point before, and we got distracted by the body count thing. But what were you getting at?
The throwaway lines.
Just, I mean, everything about this film. This film is so much about just moments and things that make you feel good, that you don't care about the collateral of the movie.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is action movies in the 90s. It was a big deal, and this would be, I mean, this was about the time when people were concerned about what video games were going to do to children if they saw them.
Mortal
so they
Kombat.
said a lot of things. They said a lot of things about these movies to say, well, if a child sees that, what are they going to think? It's going to be about? Because if you remember, it was a big thing in the 80s for some creators to say they would frame all the violence in a certain way so that it was, especially if you had violence, it was not portrayed by your actor as a good thing or something like that. They would kind of like speak to the nature of what they were fighting for when they said we're against gun violence and we're against all these things. A lot of 90s films just threw that out the window. This was it. The 80s led into the 90s, and action movies were just about like, it doesn't matter. It is the right thing for the good guy to defeat the bad guy by if he's got to kill him, then so be it. And sometimes it had to do with body counts, and sometimes it had to do with mass destruction.
Well, and you talking about that is interesting.
Like
it reminded
desolation leading. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's just what you were saying about like the people kind of like the parental advisory warnings and video, like, oh, Mortal Kombat being the worst video game. Like that was big in the 90s, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think there was this real strong like push. Like you had like Howard Stern, like Opie and Anthony, you had these like shock jocks, and people were just vulgarity for vulgarity's sake to kind of combat that, you know? Like there was this kind of like school marm kind of no, not too much violence, not too much cursing, like sort of like the instinct to control culture. And now you see it's just swung to the other side. Like first it came from like the right and kind of like churchy people who didn't want it to be too, and now it's like the left is like, and it's got to be the right. There's always some group that's trying to like hold it down and control it and reform it into their worldview. It can't exist.
Oh yeah, that's and kind of relevant. I'm glad you brought that. That's how we had for a while, if you remember in the 90s, that's why we had albums that had the parental advisory label, because there was that whole censorship war going on. That D. Snyder literally went to court in his jeans, took his paperwork out of his pocket like a high school kid, and went against that whole censorship. But nowadays, if that happened today, it would be against leftists. But if you had said that in, 1990, you would have never believed that.
No, it's like you'd never think that the left would have been the man, like that they would have been the ones that are like the silence. You can't say this, you can't do this, you can't portray this. They were the free speech part of the country, and now
they were. Now they're the elites.
Yeah. Now
how did that happen? What? Like
it's that like that Who song. It's like meet the old boss, same as the new boss. It's like power or something. I don't know. It's control.
Well, if you probably heard, because Gary reminded me of this. This was another thing from the 90s where Dennis Miller did his skit where he opened up by saying, I didn't think that the man was going to be liberal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the first time I heard that, I thought it was a joke because I understood that the man was supposed to be on that side. But now it's in a whole different context.
Now it's a reality.
Because he swung pretty hard conservative. Like he became like a conservative comic. Like that was his whole thing.
That's what happens as you get older.
Yeah. Yeah,
it happens to a lot. Yep. You get stuck in the idea that you prefer things not to change, and change for change's sake is a bad thing, rather than
it's more of, I like to think of, as you grow older,
that's only one.
You become more conservative because you want the government to intrude less in your life. Because it's like, hey, I've been living 80 years, fuck off.
There's also the thinking more logistically and not thinking emotionally as well.
Yes,
and that's a
really
big part
point.
of it. That's a very big part, because a lot of people don't even factor the variables. They just think about their impulse reaction at the moment. But then you go back and ask those people, they'll say or think that they overreacted.
I was like that.
That emotion is the ultimate leftist trigger. When they I mean, it's the ultimate trigger, and it works. It works like a charm for them.
Really well.
It's also safe to say that none of this stuff is as simple. Like I bring up that point, and you could talk back. You could talk back to me on it, but it's just like Stephen brought up. There's so many reasons why these things happen, and one of the things is I want to get away from the sort of political side of it, because we're here talking about something that we appreciated without sort of political context.
Draco.
The whole idea that we are
Yeah.
interested in this stuff, this stuff is the things that we get concerned about happening today. But there's so many points of view on it. It is more about why can we not just enjoy the things that are. I mean, it's got issues. I mean, we can call this movie out for all of its issues while we're still loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you guys who complain about it? And that's all I'm saying. And while we
It's
still
control.
love this movie, everything
Because I love everything about Con Air. I have no complaints. that's the problem.
why can't we not
Here,
just,
here.
why can't we not just appreciate it?
You know,
Why?
I
Because it's over violent. It's too many. It's all flashy explosions, and it doesn't mean anything. And the story is crap. But it's funny.
it's
But
funny.
look,
Yeah, it's
Things
entertaining.
blowing up. Look,
It's outstanding.
I almost don't feel like it's real. I don't know if that's the way you guys feel. It's almost cartoony in that because
totally
you don't
is.
care about the damage, you don't care about the things that happen.
No.
But the fun of it is not real. The fun of
Yeah.
it is that realistically no one gets hurt. I mean, there's moments in there where you see dang it, Buscemi's character, his name is now gone for me.
Garvin, something Green. Marlon
Green.
Garland Green.
When he escapes from the rest of the people and finds his way into that little subdivision, and it's like, this is not going in a good direction.
No. You're like,
as
oh,
soon as
God.
you see that girl at the end of it and you know that she's okay,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're free. Okay, we don't need to worry about that anymore.
It was
I didn't
great.
want to think about that.
Bye. It was great. And then he's got the doll, and when they're crashing,
Because he walks
he's
away
got
with the doll, yeah.
whole world.
Yes. I mean, think now you don't care.
No, and you
You
end up
could've-
like,
You could have been tugged into something that, ooh, that's dark, but it turned out okay.
it was great.
was very-
And at the end of the movie, he goes to the craps tables and he's like, new shooter. Does a new shooter feel lucky? And it's him. And he's like, yes, I do.
Yes,
and he,
I
yes,
do.
he does. And he throws like the dice and like, you're like, yeah, the serial killer went free. That's great stuff. Like, you're like,
And people
Well,
are
because-
looking at you like,
Because he made the character, his character's changed. He didn't
Yeah.
murder that little girl, so now it's like his second chance. It's like, oh,
the
you clearly not the
suggestion
same.
that he did reform.
The old you
suggestion
would have
that he
eaten that girl's face.
right.
Thank God you didn't. And now you're shooting in Las Vegas. It's like yeah, like the '90s American like full come around.
Yeah, like it's just funny. It's like like you're not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
You don't think it through. You're not like considering the implications of if John Wayne Gacy was free. I mean, you're not thinking it like in those terms.
No.
You're just having it's funny, and then you forget about it, and then you leave the theater, and that's it. And that's like that was the value of it. I
Because
mean,
they do just enough. I think they do just enough when they need to. That's why, for example, why those guards are so easily dismissed. Because you see them in that scene in the background while the camera's primarily on the main character. And you see the little smart ass guy and you blow them all away. It's like, good, you were stupid. You know,
You were dumb.
It's a
You
small
deserved it.
justification, and you know it's fake, like you were saying. You know it's fake, so that's what justifies it. You're like, oh no, that was a stupid guy anyway.
yep, and that's it.
And then
And
you
that
go
was-
move on, follow to the next character. You know,
And that was
Extreme consequences.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
Well,
that was the rules.
that was the
of-
purpose, I think. Yeah.
the rules of action movies was that's what the rules were. It was just
Yeah.
it was like make believe. It was play. No one took it
I
seriously.
mean, it's like we talked about the car behind the plane. You like
Who the
one of
fuck
the best
cares about
lines.
the physics.
I mean,
he
you wanna
turns
talk
around
about-
and says, any other day that'd be strange.
Yeah,
He just
it's
turns
great.
back around and walks in. It's
I mean,
Gotta
if
get
you
her
want
nose
to
up.
put this movie in any realm of believability, I want to reference you immediately to how Cyrus the Virus passes from this existence. Not only does he get crashed through
This
an
is
overhead walkway, not only does he get I can't even remember the sequence of events completely, but
it goes
He
through
ends up-
conveyor belts.
he goes through a conveyor belt. He lands at the bottom. Somehow he is positioned just in the right place of a pile driver.
Why was that even there?
That was the worst
And
factory ever.
How did his head land right where the pile that's being piled is going to hit?
And he
Right?
had no instincts to move. He's just like, oh no, it's
Yeah.
too bad.
Like- What is that factory set on auto at like 10 o'clock at night with nobody working there? Why is it functioning?
After a plane just crashed into the city like 3 blocks away.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this is after the chase. This is a fire truck like at least 15 miles away where he crashed. Like
it's like right there.
Like
it just happened.
It's so ridiculous.
Those guys are really dedicated to cracking those rocks.
Right. I'm trying to save for Christmas.
Then they look the other way, and Cyrus the Virus falls on. It made, and like there was no context. It didn't even feel like he crashed, like, and you saw it like from a distance. It was just that happened, and they cut away from it, and you just took it at face value. You didn't even think about it.
It just came out of nowhere.
Did.
Yeah, the bad guy's dead. He deserved it.
It was a little easy on him, if you ask me. That pile driver to the head is too fast. Just be in person.
Steven would have had much more done to this guy. We were going to drive this point home.
He needed more.
I loved he had so many great villain lines. Like thing he says, I just want you to know, Poe, that the last thing that little Casey Poe's ever going to get to smell will be my stinking breath.
Dude, the corniest,
enjoyed playing this guy.
The worst one-liner, and this is the worst part of the movie, is when they actually tried to write the dialogue to cut off his name with the one guy with the plane where they knocked the back off.
I know you're
and
talking about.
It's all fire, and he's like, "Oh, please, no, Sai!" And he throws the cigarette, Anara, and it burns. I'm like, you can't. It's like the worst line in any movie ever. It's the worst part of the movie. It's funny and it works. And if you replay that scene, I think they did a different. That's not a real cigarette because it doesn't look like it's like they amplified it and they made a big butt for the shot. And you drop it in to cause the fire.
They do that. They did that in Lord of the Rings with the ring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now I'm pretty sure they did that for that shot.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I'm saying like
it was
they did
also
that.
a setup because the flame ignites from the right of screen to left before the butt actually does anything. So it's all for a special effect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the worst part of the movie.
It's funny because we're recounting it now and it's hilarious. But like when you watch it, like there's something just the way Cyrus just like his complete lack of thinking about it takes the cigarette from Swamp Thing and he just knows what he's about to do.
Conviction, bro.
Like it's so dumb, but he sells it. Malkovich sells it.
Well, that's true of any actor. If you don't believe it, no one else will. And I love that Malkovich is like, he's making over $1 million for that movie, so he's like, I'm gonna blow this motherfucker up with a cigarette. Here we go.
What he made for that? Let's see. What did John Malkovich make for that?
He had to be top billing.
Curious because
he's the second lead. He's the
Nicolas Cage is top billing.
Well, he's in the top billing.
Cage is top billing, but Malkovich has got to be at number 2 with maybe Cusack at 3rd. I feel like Cusack would definitely be at 3rd.
Yeah.
If you want to call billing, they were all top of the main poster. It was Cage, Cusack, and Malkovich on top of the main.
There you go. Oh, hey guys, who wants to know? I did not know about Con Air. It was director Simon West's first film.
Wow.
Holy.
Yeah, but you don't really want to know what he's best.
Yes.
Everybody thank him. Everybody thank him if you've ever been Rickrolled. He is the director of Rick Astley's
Never Gonna Give You Up. Never Gonna Let You Down.
Isn't that such a great detail? What a weird
transition.
Fact.
Yeah, right.
Just a weird pop culture fact. It's like someone directed that. I thought it just.
Hey,
it just came like whole cloth through a portal and just landed. I didn't know that it was directed.
All right.
I thought it just happened.
Yeah, I thought it just like got beamed down from another realm.
Con Air got nominated for 2 Oscars.
Get the fuck out of here,
dude!
One of them, right?
I'll send the link on a private chat. I have seen this.
Okay, so we're going with rating and best performance, Danny Trejo. That's my guess.
I'm going sound and
go to number 13 on the link of the private chat. Number 13, so we can all look at this.
This is great, dude.
Oh my god!
Just be honest; you'll be able to figure it out.
I mean, it's special effects.
Dude, look at that photo of Nicolas Cage. Just so inspirational.
Isn't that great?
No,
Dude, it's beautiful.
Oh, geez, I can't. I already know what it is, but I would have
Oh,
said.
right there, number
everybody
3.
guess.
Three.
Guess what your
Three.
choice is.
Oh, how do I live without you?
Oh, that was the original
If
song.
you
That's
want
great.
it. It's a great song.
Dude. But
That sound, I told you.
Screw
I
you,
told you it was
Titanic. Oh, Titanic.
I knew
Bro.
one of them. I couldn't remember the other one.
Titanic was good. There was some good sound in Titanic, like when the bulkhead goes like there's so much like they did a better job than I just did right there.
The
But-
movie should have been called Jack and Rose, though. It would
Jack-
make more sense.
Yeah, it would have made more sense. It probably wouldn't have sold as well.
Oh, yeah, it's true. No, that namesake. No,
You want to go see Jack and Rose again? No. You want to go see Titanic again? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That was great.
Oh my god, that logic sounds like that's how it would have to play out.
Oh,
Someone. What?
There was a welder who died on set. That was
plane
while they were
fell
shooting
on
a
him.
bit of material that was being worked on fell on him, and it is dedicated to him at the closing of the credits.
I never heard about that.
God.
Me neither.
Wow.
That's too bad. I felt so bad for that woman who worked on Batgirl or whatever, Batwoman, whatever it is.
Yeah, Ruby Rose.
Yeah,
Before
no,
she
no.
departed.
I didn't feel bad for her. I felt bad for the the PA who's like paralyzed now.
Yeah.
Vigilante Williamson, hail, buddy. Another proud member of the Phantom Menace. Welcome, brother. Good to see you, man. I know you were streaming earlier. I didn't really get to check it out, but I hope it went well, my friend.
I caught the first 10 minutes of it, and that dude's killing it, man.
Yeah. I like Vigilante streams. I like his opinions.
Oh, you know, he's got opinions, and that's a guy's brain I would love to pick apart. So just letting you know, Vigilante, if you hear me, I'd love to pick that brain apart someday.
Absolutely, dude. We should definitely do a stream.
Ooh. But dude, all right. So that was a real lot. Well, yeah, I figured that was real Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, sorry, you know, that woman from Batwoman, that poor PA, she's paralyzed now because that stupid fucking show. Some, like, girl, like, I remember Gary was talking about that, and I wanted to be like, dude, do you understand, like, the PA is, like, that's, like, the lowest of the low. Like, that's just someone's friend's nephew who's there just trying to make it, making, like, $125 a day, busting their ass.
It's like the busboy at a restaurant.
It is, and now you're paralyzed for the rest of your life because this stupid show that really should have never been. It's fucking so tragic. Don't mean to bring the mood down, but I just remember I think about that every once in a while. Like, damn, that poor girl is fucking horrible.
Nah, dude. I mean that's good that you mentioned it. It's relevant to the subject that even when our favorite properties are being created, sometimes tragedy gets involved in the
People
making
die
of it.
sometimes, man.
It's unfortunate.
People
Anyone-
die every day.
I
don't know if y'all know
Yeah, I guess
But
that's a
it
good point.
happens.
I guess my point was pretty fucking stupid. People die sometimes. Wow, Matt, you're blowing our mind. That is insightful.
Yeah, but you say that, and we're talking about the person died because they were on the set of this mistake.
Dumpster fire. That just shouldn't even be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the context. I get that. But, I mean, we tried to make it bigger when it's really just people die every day.
Yeah, no, it's true. But I mean, I guess it's just like on a movie set. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that doesn't happen for sure.
of all the places, it's just, you know, you just don't think of it. I don't know. It just seems brutal. But
That does sound
Unless
pretty
you're an
brutal.
underwriter.
yeah. But let's get back to the to this list. I want to see what else is on here. John Cusack and Steve Buscemi's characters were written with them in mind. That makes sense.
It shows so bad, especially or so good in this case, especially with Buscemi. Like it's almost like Steve Buscemi played Steve Buscemi.
He was great in there.
What?
He was
Oh
great.
no,
in
he
there.
was excellent. But you can tell that he is definitely one of those he was made for the part, and it showed, and that's fine. I like it where they can have this whole. All right, I'm gonna write this character and have him in mind. If we end up casting him, bonus. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hearing that echo too. Just another red shirt. I don't know if the other guys are hearing that, but I'm hearing. Oh,
I'm not.
it's gone now. I don't hear it no more. I
Yeah,
was
I didn't
hearing
hear
it
it.
for a bit.
Oh, it's gone.
I
Oh,
didn't-
good.
Do you
But
guys
we
want to
did-
watch? You want to watch this clip?
Yeah.
The casino.
Yeah.
The crash land as they're singing the.
MC Ganny, I love that guy. He was the limo driver in Blank Check, guys.
Yeah, I just saw him in something.
Oh no, sorry, the limo driver in Mighty Ducks. My bad, wrong movie.
I hope that. Well, this isn't going to bring the stream down, is it?
Well,
might get demonetized.
actually, yeah.
You think it will?
After like,
If you don't, I mean, we can talk over it, but you should probably break it up with pauses every so often because we're doing commentary.
Okay.
as long as it's not the primary.
It's still possible. I think they'll go shorter than 4 seconds, and if you're not talking over it at the same time, it's even more likely because they'll get you for sound.
I don't want to take that. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a monetized stream anyway, but I just don't want to get it. I don't want to get it taken down. Is the one thing. That's all.
Nah, don't risk that, dude.
It's probably safer because if it isn't in that list, this is a Disney property. Touchstone Pictures, my friends.
Damn.
Of all the things, Disney gets a lot of flack, but if there's one thing Disney does not care if they have YouTubers stream their shit with them being like,
what stream are you streaming? Like, what YouTube clip are you streaming? Because that one's clearly on YouTube.
Yeah, that
is that a Disney? Is that a Disney associated stream? That
oh yeah, that's a good point. I just don't know how the algorithm works. I don't know how. Like, I don't know. Just want to rip it.
Where's our encyclopedia on how exactly the algorithm 100% works? I'm just saying because
I don't think there is one.
I did a WandaVision trailer reaction, and I viewed the entire trailer on my thing, and I even tagged it like no tomorrow. WandaVision, Disney Plus, yada yada, and nothing of all the things Disney is flexible for. They don't care if you react to their videos with their video on your video.
I did
keep that in mind.
I did a stream on here where they did the New York Comic-Con video of the Expanse panel.
Yeah.
And I just played it like we're playing it right now and just had it. And I mean, I got a claim, but it didn't strike it or anything. There was nothing. It didn't hurt my channel. I just couldn't monetize the stream. And I was like, well, I'm not monetized anyway. I don't care.
Yeah, right. It's like, I'm already not monetized, bro.
Yeah. no worries there. Eric K says the worst tragedy was from the Twilight Zone movie. Does anyone know about that?
Yeah, that was a helicopter crash that killed 3 individuals.
Whoa.
My recollection. And we're talking 1980s. This was a Bob Zemeckis joint. And it threw a hell of a pall over the movie because that one sequence that they were using the helicopter in lost. I can't even remember the actors. It would probably be worth something to look it up. But yeah, talking early 80s, and just the idea that you're making a film, it's all for make-believe, but you're using things like aircraft and things like that. Something goes wrong, it can go wrong fast.
Oh, God, 2 children died.
Ooh. Ouch.
Oh, that's fucking horrible.
Yeah, no, that is terrible. Damn, dude. Fuck.
That's fucking brutal. Well, I didn't know that. I mean, I remember hearing something about it, but I didn't know it was so dramatic.
It's a while ago, and you probably wouldn't have if you hadn't say watched the movie and gone into looking up information on it like this.
Yeah.
Because it's been 40 years.
Wow, 82 is fucking 40 years ago almost. Jesus.
38 years.
Imagine that. 10 years from now, that's going to be half a century.
Oh, dude, stop. Because that means I'm going to be about half a century.
We could only wish.
Time passes.
You know what? I should be so lucky.
Exactly.
Should be so lucky as to make it. That is interesting, though. Wow, I didn't really know that was so horrible. Have you ever been up? You've been up to Santa Clarita, right? Steven?
Yeah, when I first moved here, fun fact, I moved to Valencia.
Oh, really? You lived up there?
Yeah, I lived up there for a little over a year, right next to Magic Mountain.
Oh, and that's where this crashed, Indian Dunes.
Oh, wow.
Right near Magic Mountain in Valencia.
Didn't know that. That's crazy.
I didn't either.
So it's like the Vietnam sequence or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that is so horrible. Oh, we had Kobe died in a helicopter crash this year.
Yeah.
I believe that was this year.
February, right?
That feels like that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. This has been the wildest, the wildest ride, guys. The wildest ride. But I got to meet all you rock stars. I mean, I already knew Steven, but got to meet you guys, which is pretty badass.
This was a big thing. Despite all, I've been a very vocal man on my channels of how much I have been against a lot of the lockdown shutdowns, but not to steer off into that whole spiel. But the whole gist is that I had always wanted to do something where I was a commentator of sorts, and then once that happened, that was kind of like my green light. If you don't do this now, when are you gonna do it? And
Fucking A.
yeah, and that's when I came up with the name, and a few months later, I started doing videos around June, and I had already been listening to a few streamers like Young Ripa, Nerdrotic, Ethan Van Sciver for a little over a year at that point. So then I'm like, then all of a sudden, once I became a member on the Nerdrotic streams around July or August, I think, and then all of a sudden, I see Draco, Jake D, and before you know it, the floodgates start to tear open. It's like you're unleashed to a whole new world of people. It's kind of mind blowing, really. It blows my mind to think that's how all this happened. Yet here we all are, thanks to Nerdrotic member stream.
Honest to God, man, because I remember the first time I ever heard your name was Gary mentioned it. Like I heard him say it, and I was like, 32 flavors of Nickweiser. What's this guy about? It's like that's cool. That sounds fun. And yeah, but right around that time, dude, it was, I'm trapped in the house. You know what I mean? I'm an actor. Me and Steven are actors. There's no acting going on. There's nothing. You can't do anything. And it's like I've been wanting to do this for kind of a little while. And then just having nothing but time and a couple checks from the government. And, and then honestly, Gary, respect to Gary, because his encouragement of saying people should start their channels and more common sense voices and stuff like that gave me the confidence. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't have to doubt. I can just do this. And it's fucking rocking, man. And it's meeting the Phantom Menace, how warm the community was, how receptive everybody was probably that was the most shocking thing, I think, and that was probably the coolest thing.
Oh, absolutely. And once again, it still blows my mind to this day. And oh yeah, Vigilante. I remember when Gary mentioned. Yeah, I remember that. I got a few buddies mention dude, Gary mentioned your name on your podcast. I'm like, that has to be a joke. And I was making lunch for my children. And then of course, and it wasn't because Gary's just a good guy like that, but
yeah.
I just happened to be making lunch for my children. I think I was making grilled cheese. It was one of those you remember what you were doing that day type of thing. I was making grilled cheese. All of a sudden my phone just starts going off. I'm like, what's going on? All of a sudden I look, I'm like, oh, I gotta check this out. And I'm like, bro, what the hell?
What happened the day Nerdrotic mentioned you on stream?
Yeah, so that was awesome for me.
It's a big day.
It was a moment, but I mean, just because that happens too, I also remember doesn't mean you should ever rest on your laurels because as great as it is, that doesn't mean I'm just gonna rest on it. It means I'm gonna still keep cranking out the videos, at least a few a week. I mean, obviously, Foulball, I can't do 3, 4, 5 videos like you a day. Being a dad does not allow me to do that, but doesn't mean I'm still not going to keep my eyes on the prize and say, hey, just commentate, talk, appear on streams. And now that I got my whole new mic setup, now I'm just now I got to get on even more shit. And I got my logo coming out. I'm going to start going live in a few weeks too on my own channel soon.
Right on, buddy.
So,
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking I might start doing some Simpsons watch-alongs. It's appropriate because I see you got either Kang or Kodos on your photo.
Yeah.
You might have to come on for a stream or 3. Just saying.
I'm down, dude.
All right, good. I mean,
fucking
Simpsons, man. Oh, that's a whole other topic for years.
But the real question is it Kang or is it Kodos?
Well, don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
You got that.
I was gonna say that, you bastard.
It jumped on the line. Yeah, I was actually just checking out some of the old Simpsons. I'm a really big fan of early Simpsons, like early.
Yeah.
Like I think season 1 is outstanding.
Oh, dude, I don't even care about that crap animation. It's the execution of the dialogue and the story progressing is what's up with that season. It's so good. Me and my girlfriend, like, we literally we watch so much Simpsons, and it's just endless. Which what a terrible problem to have. It's just, I know, right? Just like all the dialogue and the moments, and the fact is, not only does the core family have their moments, even side characters have episodes that are centered down. Like you have a handful of episodes based on Moe. You have a handful of episodes based on Krusty the Clown, Apu. Like, it's crazy, and it's awesome. Like, you have that. Even Mr. Burns has some episodes where you're feeling for Mr. Burns. Like, you're talking about the billionaire character, and yet here we are. Like, man, we're connecting. Excellent.
And Mr. Burns was a pivotal character of one of the most epic 2-part series sitcom there ever was, entitled Who Shot Mr. Burns?
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from such films as The Spy Who Shagged Me or 31 Flavors. I was just fucking around with shit.
But it's always something like that. It always sounds like some kind of a thing. Like it's always just like offbeat, just a little bit.
Yeah, he's like the most famous B-list actor there is.
Yeah, it's great, and like that show used to be pretty subversive. Like I remember there was a scene when Lisa was in class and she like asked a question, like I forgot what it was, and the teacher goes, "Oh," and like hits this alarm, and it goes independent thought alarm. And it's like goes to like the government. They're all concerned. This is great, and they like a camera like zooms in on her.
It blows my mind how once again the 90s. They tell these the most simple lines, but they are still so effective to this day. And here's one just for an example. And once again, it shows you it's not always simplicity is one thing, but when it's the effectiveness is what counts. And here's that one line: "Hello, my name is Mr. Burns. I believe you have a letter for me. Okay, Mr. Burns, what's your first name?"
I don't know.
We still laugh at that line.
And they just cut to Homer being like, "Well, that didn't work."
Like, can
you imagine one of us go to the post office and say that shit? We probably got arrested. Isn't there like a Simpsons place in Vegas or something like that in Vegas?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago, they did a Quickie Mart thing nationwide.
Yeah,
they
for the
made
Simpsons
like a few
movie.
7-Elevens. Yeah, that was cool.
I'll tell you what. One thing that kind of disappointed me. I went to Universal. I guess it was like last summer, and I went to the Quickie, like the whole Simpsons land. Which part of it was pretty dope because they had like you could go into Moe's and buy a Duff beer, and Duff beer was great. I still have like the plastic cup over there, and it tasted what you thought a Duff beer should taste like. It was perfect, and they only make it for like the Simpsons lands, but the Quickie Mart was just like a bunch of like souvenirs and shit. I was like, oh man, I wanted to buy a squishy.
Right?
The squishy, yeah, the squishy.
I thought there'd be a little bit more there, but I wanted to get back. I wanted to get back to Con Air.
Back to Con Air.
This is the Con Air stream. Draco,
is that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. You know, you get off the tangents, get off on little eddies on the conversation. But Draco, thoughts? Because you've been quite sage-like on this topic. I'd like to hear anything else from you at the moment. Sage-like.
Well, I guess I simulate very well, but no, I just think of this movie. If you put me on the spot, it gets back to it's just a fun movie. The thing is that I just care about this movie because I don't care about. I mean, it's almost like, okay, so the movie, every one of the characters is playing absolute serious. Every one of the moments is played absolute serious.
Deadly.
But then it immediately falls back on as I mentioned before, the cartooniness of it, because you have people that are so completely over the top. I mean, I think it was one of the best ideas. One of the critics mentioned this about they didn't think it was possible for a Bruckheimer movie to be more over the top than The Rock.
And it is.
Next year,
The Rock is grounded in comparison.
yes.
No, you're nuts.
It is.
Let's not go crazy here, guys.
In comparison, I mean,
no. They're infiltrating Alcatraz because it was taken over by a force of rebel Navy SEAls.
but there's no like,
And it
comparison.
starts out. It starts out with
first
that
of all,
car chase through downtown San Francisco.
the Navy SEALs are the ones infiltrating. It was taken over by a rogue group of Marines. Okay, now I look. I don't know what kind of a military family you grew up in, but if in my family, if you mistook the Marines for the Navy, you might get into a fight.
Well, were you on the Marine side or the Navy? 'Cause-
My dad's a Marine. I'm fucking around.
okay, so you're on the good side. Because if you're a Navy guy getting the Marines wrong, like, who cares?
I mean, they're a division of the Navy. Okay. I mean, obviously that's a dramatic statement, but like, I guess it was taken even more seriously. Like, whereas like this is taken seriously, but it's like, it's just, I don't know what it is about Con Air that is so perfect. The way the comedy blends so well with the action that it's a perfect action film. And I'll go one step further as to say that I think this is pretty much the high watermark on pure like adrenaline explosion driven action films. And I don't think it ever reaches this peak again. I think after this, as far as just pure like Schwarzenegger type action movies, it never reaches this peak again.
It's pretty up there. The Rock was a year later.
Year before.
They're both in 97, right?
No, 96. We said Face Off was 97.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah. And I like Face Off, but Face Off's no Con Air.
Well, they're different. They're totally different beasts. It's not the same
It does
thing.
have an entirely different Nick Cage.
It does indeed. It
has two.
Not only does it have a Nick Cage, yes, it has two Nick Cages, but then you have a Nick Cage by John Travolta and a John Travolta by Nick Cage.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Off.
It's so that one. That's almost. Imagine the acting in Face Off in Con Air, and Con Air would be a bad movie because a lot of the acting in Face Off is so way over the top. Like you just did. I want to take this face off. It's like relax.
I look at Con Air.
That's the take they used, guys. That's the take they used.
That was it. And like, what's his name? John Woo. It's like someone who's like an accredited film like star, like a star director. I see him lagging there a little bit.
Of course, that's under the assumption. I still love Face Off. So
I love Face Off, but I like it ironically.
Really do.
Like I enjoy it like because it's so bad. Like there's so many fucking doves.
Ooh, fun fact. You know Tom Jane is in Face Off?
Is he?
Yeah. He's like one of the friends of his brother in jail. He's in like two scenes in the whole movie.
Oh, that's right. He has glasses and he
has glasses and like long shaggy hair.
Yes. Do you know that Tom Jane, I just learned this today, has a graphic novel comic book company?
No.
Called Raw Studios. And I looked it up, Nick. You might like this, my friend. It was the shit looked cool. Like his like art and stuff looked really cool. I'll share the website.
That makes a lot of sense of why he wanted, other than being paid, to be a member of the Punisher movie he did.
It makes perfect sense.
And I really enjoyed that Punisher movie, honestly. It's another one of the genres like this. It's like it's too much, but like it's done in a way that I like it.
Well, and speaking of Travolta's the villain. But like the art, check out the art in these comics. Like they look pretty badass. Like I was like, I want to see this stuff. Like I'm just getting into comics now, but I mean, I'm starting to like really respond to some, and like some of the artwork stuff looks so cool. Like, look at this. Like it's like a Spartan alien future thing. I mean, I'm down. Do you guys? I know, Nick, you're a big comic guy. Drake, are you into comics?
I was into comics. I got into a comic shtick in just before 1990, probably right around the time. Essentially, I was big on the X-Men books, and then I held with the Marvel camp for the longest time. But my brother had been into comics much earlier than I was, and he had a lot of books that were just the quality kind of stuff that you'd find, especially the Vertigo books from DC. Just marvelous stories and dark books, not just the superhero stories.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at this, and I mean, this is amazing art right here.
Right.
Look at this stuff. This is
How cool
this.
is
This is the one that this kind of book draws you right in. You see the stories, you see the art,
Yeah.
see the layouts. Look
And
at
like
this
I
stuff.
like that it's got the traditional like damsel in distress and like a big ogre. Like I think that's a good sign to say, Tom Jane's probably not woke. You know what I mean? He's not doing it the other way around, which I was like, that's a good sign. Just anyone who just like, I'm like, anyone who doesn't seem to be predictably like programmed to do what they tell them to do. I'm like, okay, cool. You're down with me. And then also just one step further, like just how cool does this shit look? Like I definitely want to see this. It reminds me of what's the Dread, the Dread comic line? I can't think of the company that makes them, but it kind of looks like Dread, that sort of like ultra violent, like super futuristic kind of thing.
Makes me think of heavy metal and certain other French
Yes,
comics.
that's heavy metal, absolutely.
Or like all those variable Marvel comics where they explore different universes with like the different Hulks, the different Wolverines, the variations on the basic X-Men.
Yeah.
For
It looks kinda
everybody
like
that
those.
hung in there, I basically fell out of my comic collection about in 2006, 2007, right when it was starting to get good in several ways. But I also missed
Yes.
the Awakening.
I never saw that. I don't know.
Well,
that
the Awakening being what's been happening recently since the
Nope.
infiltration of comics by other bad actors.
Oh God!
Yeah.
It seems
well,
like you
I
have
mean,
to be a bad actor to be famous now.
dude, Steven, you should watch some of the videos on the comic industry right now. Like, you think it's bad in movies and film. It is a parody of itself in comics. Like
I've seen a few. That's why I don't look into it because it's such an
shocking.
easier field to get into. So therefore, there's going to be 10 times more garbage.
You know what it is? I think they look at it like it's the farm system for Hollywood. So that's like their minor league. So that's where they're going to go flex their woke muscles and like really lean into their bullshit because they don't care because it's just stupid comic books. Who gives a shit? Like that's their point of view.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go make it big in Hollywood. It's abominable what they're doing to that industry.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't even believe it's real.
Throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks. Unfortunately, they're throwing shit at shit, so it's all sticking.
Fuck yeah, by the way, Red Shirt. Absolutely, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd say that too.
Classic artist Eric Kay brought up Conan, and that's exactly the kind of thing to see some of his art in this.
Yeah.
And there was another point I wanted to get back to because you mentioned about how the action movie was starting to flag, and this Con Air was sort of the pinnacle of it. Well, there's also, I don't know how you feel about it, but you might get an indication of the way things were going because the very next year was the year Armageddon came out.
I love Armageddon. Like,
so
unashamedly. Like,
continuing going up, or are we starting to fail now?
That's a great point. But you know what? The thing, Armageddon is more, even though it is very action heavy, it's more of a disaster movie.
It's really not that. I mean, it's action heavy, but like it's not cause conflict. It's like you're voyaging your way through constant conflict. It's not like they're creating it.
Not like Die Hard.
Con Air.
Yeah,
Con Air. It's like we're gonna go shoot everybody, and then we'll shoot some more.
It's kind of like what were all those movies in the 70s that were really big, like the Airplane was parodying, like the Towering Inferno, and
you guys would also know this because you're in the industry, how many times that you will get. I mean, for the Armageddon, there was the Deep Impact.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for this would be happening over and over in movies. I mean, geez, since I've been alive, that someone comes up with an idea, someone also comes up with, or they either hear about it or it's talked over coffee at some get together, and then you got like 5 different stories being marketed out there, and they're all about some similar version of the movie. And eventually you get things like this. You get a couple stories eventually make it into theaters, and it's like, geez, that seems awfully coincidental.
Yeah,
they do that.
I always thought it was crazy with Deep Impact and Armageddon how close they came out together. It's like so 85% the same movie, and they still came out like 6 months apart or something like that.
Didn't they do that with the volcano movie? Weren't there like 2 volcanoes?
Dante's Peak.
Yeah, and then
Dante's Peak and Volcano.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like they're ridiculous concepts anyway. The idea that you'd make 2 of them in the same year, like, is a lot.
Well, the downtown LA volcano is definitely a. Well, what would happen if a volcano suddenly sprouted in downtown LA? I mean, it's on the Ring of Fire, and
It's true.
Dante's Peak was what if you actually had a volcano that goes off in a small wooded town, and it's a attraction. They're inviting a lot of people up there, and they're trying to get the best place to live this year, and so on. And that they each have their own takes with it. You can see the writer's own style, what they want to tell with it. The thing with Armageddon and Deep Impact. Deep Impact was the dramatic take on what would happen if you actually had this occur, and what would be these events that would unfold out of it. Where Armageddon was as you say, we're going to tear through this movie, and it's so a Bruckheimer film too, because you have all of the moments, the set pieces, the characterizations. It's everything you come to expect from Con Air. It's everything you come to expect from The Rock. It's so in that vein.
And
it absolutely
kicks. Like the idea that the armadillos they have a minigun for some reason. Why would that ever come up? Why would you ever need to shoot like that many? It's so implausible, but you're like, minigun.
Because your commentary fragment is going to be covered with razor sharp glass crystal blades that will just blow up and shatter on impact. And
I love it. The scariest.
I can't make it make sense.
Scariest
environment imaginable. That's all I had to say.
It's just scariest environment imaginable. Yeah.
And like the whole concept is so ridiculous that these guys, they couldn't teach astronauts who are like athletes, astrophysicists, pilots. They're like the most badass people on the planet. They don't know jack about drilling. So we need to teach these like drunk, drug addict, like old, fat, out of shape guys. They've got to be astronauts. That's an easier path.
Yeah.
Like, bring it on. I wanted to share.
I can't make that depth. You need to make that depth. I can make that depth, but I need to bring my men.
I have never missed a depth that I have aimed to hit. It's like, ooh, you and Superman.
You swear on your daughter's life.
And also, like, the science of that is apparently abominable. They're like, no, that's just going to shower the earth in multiple rocks. Is the last thing you'd want to do would be to blow it up with a nuclear bomb.
If you knew everything about the rock, you would pick a way to do a controlled explosion that could shear it. But you're not going to know everything about that fucking rock. The most likely outcome is a huge explosion at the heart of the rock actually creates a huge cloud of debris that showers the earth.
Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, nuclear bomb, I'm in. I like it. I think it's great. I wanted to share this image that Nickweiser shared in the private chat. This is amazing. Look at this. He looks like he's on a set. He looks like he's like the mysterious magician, and that's his apprentice.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing a part.
Well, Nick Cage is the best. He's the greatest. You know, he's a Coppola.
Yeah.
Kind of
He
a
has a pedigree.
yeah. Even though that's a kind of a well-known fact, I think it's
Yeah.
you kind of forget it. We were talking about that, Steve. the other day.
Fast Times at Ridgemont, he hadn't changed his name yet. So if you want to see his name accredited as it is, it's still Coppola in that movie.
Well, they might change it because I know they rushed to go change all of his credits to Elliot Page today. I know
I
that.
saw that.
Did
I
you
saw
guys
that.
hear about that?
I did. It's hilarious.
Like that Netflix. Netflix didn't skip a beat.
Well, they've got to keep up with the times, and how can we be completely fluid with our application of individual identification unless we can change everything instantaneously every single
Right.
time someone changes on a whim?
The thing is, I felt bad for him because I'm like, well, then he's not going to work because Hollywood doesn't hire straight white men. Poor guy.
They do if they used to be girls.
Hey,
Well, that's the curious
she was
thing,
always
isn't
a
it?
guy. Always, don't you say
Oh.
that.
I'll say whatever
Well,
the
then-
hell I want.
Well, then she's identity appropriating because can she be a lesbian woman if he's a guy?
I saw that meme where it was
True.
like Ellen goes to Elliot Page and then her wife goes, "Guess I'm straight." Like that meme of that guy, "Guess I'll die." Goes, "Guess I'm straight."
That's
I
hilarious.
guess so.
I just can't
I mean-
wait till like 30
Oh.
years from now when somebody
13.
watches Juno and they're like, why is a boy playing a pregnant lady?
That's a great point,
Pretty
right?
hilarious.
And you can't say that is a girl because that person was always a man all the time, even when they identified as a woman then. But now because they are now, I think. Hold on, I need like my chalkboard with all like the lines drawn so I can understand what they're trying to tell me. All I know is
No.
whenever I say I'm wrong. I know that.
Right?
You'll always
Science-
be wrong. You're
Science
assuming
doesn't
something.
matter.
But look, science.
Science. Yeah, I know. I felt like growing up, like I loved Armageddon, and then I went through like a phase where I think I felt guilty about it because it's so over the top. It's one of those movies where I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to like this. It's too wacky. Like it's one of those movies that your mom, your parents like shake their head at, like, oh, these kids with the movies that they like. But now as an adult, like I actually think I like it more now.
Armageddon?
Yeah.
Really?
I would think-
I'm still on like the same plane. I'll always love it.
Well, because I remember I felt like as a kid, like the love stories, I was like, it's boring. Like I just thought it was just kind of like I was like I didn't. But now I'm like it's like a instant. Like it's so quick. I'm like this movie rules. This movie just rocks from moment to moment.
Guess I was always that kid that never got the girl. So it's like
Oh,
always the longing's always there. And this is about when I was like going into high school. This is when the feelings started moving inside of me.
this dark.
Nobody
demon.
can take away your love of a movie, regardless of whether it's shit or not. You accept your movie because you love it. Accept it and all of its flaws, and you accept Con Air because there is no flaws. Ha ha!
That's right. There's no. It's a
True.
perfect movie. That's a perfect
100%.
movie. I'm looking at it right now. You know, I'll tell you honestly, it's a well shot film too. Like it's not like a remarkably well shot. It's not like the type of movie you'd remark on, be like, oh, the cinematography in that movie. But the shots are really well composed, and it's a very good looking movie for
Yeah.
what
Well,
it is.
Bruckheimer, man. He's not going to hire some half-ass to go up in there, blow some shit up.
I wonder who the
Quality
DP on that was.
photography.
You make my blow-ups look good, son.
My blow ups. Hey guys, we are approaching 2 hours on the stream. If you guys are down to keep chilling, I'm down to keep chilling because I'm having a ball. But if anyone wants to dip out, I will absolutely leave the door open for you to leave. There's, you're not forced to be here.
Well, it is unfortunate because I do have to go on the road shortly. I'm breaking format and I'll be out of work here shortly. So I could take you guys with, but it wouldn't work that well. So I'm going to dip out of the stream and just call it that. I don't know if you'll still be going later when I get home and I could rejoin, but I don't know if you're willing to become longman at this point in your game, Foulball.
Trying to follow in Mauler's steps.
Yeah.
Long man?
The mighty Mauler. They do EFAP, every frame of pause. They do it on Saturdays. They often go for 10 to 12 hours straight.
Ooh.
How you feel about that, Steven? You feel like you want to sit there for another 9 hours or so?
No.
I don't know how they do it.
Honesty is a good thing.
Not today, no.
I don't know how they do it. They stay on topic, and they'll talk about the same topic. Like they have done like 5 Last of Us 2 streams at least. That's like somewhere in the ballpark of 30 to 50 hours talking about one video game. I'm like,
well, I could easily spend 50 hours on a video game alone.
but it's a video game. Well, but that's different though. You're not like to sit present and talk about it for the whole time. That's I don't even know if I'd find anything that interesting to talk about that long. It's
I mean,
pretty
Really
different.
do.
You can't. There's no
As
way you
much
can
as you-
imply 10 hours is entertaining the whole time. There's going to be lulls.
I
That's just
swear to
gonna
God,
happen.
it is though. It's like they don't miss a beat. It's amazing. You should check one out. See what you think. It's crazy.
I'll try to watch a 10-hour stream.
You don't have to watch
sometime
the. Yeah.
Well, that's
was
my
that?
point. Like
What were
it
you
has
gonna say,
lulls.
Draco? Oh, well, I wanted to
So-
leave you with this fact. Is an interesting fact. The cinematographer on Con Air also shot all the Star Wars prequels.
Really?
Also was the director of photography for all the Star Wars prequels. So a fun
Well,
little.
he did make them pretty.
I mean, just an interesting.
Those were a big deal. Y'all remember? Like we're redoing Star Wars, so like that's a big job to think about.
overturn
I mean,
the Earth.
At the time, it was a huge deal. So
Overturn-
being the cinematographer on that, I could totally see that's like. I wouldn't brag about it now, but
yeah.
I'm out, guys. If
All
I
right,
don't-
Draco. Hey, thank you so much, guys. Draco has a channel. Anyone who's watching it, check him out. It's in the description. He hasn't put out a lot of videos yet, but I believe he will. I'm confident that he will. So we'll build that audience for him.
Working up to it.
Working up to it. Subscribe to Draco.
Unless you'd be willing to hang out when I am still busy late in the evenings.
Well, what time zone are you in?
I'm actually Eastern time zone, but I work on a second shift schedule.
So my late
So-
night is a lot different than your late night. I mean, if it's 12 o'clock where you are, it's only 9 here. So
Yes.
True.
yeah, man, hit me up.
Things happen. We never know.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
gentlemen, you keep enjoying the Con Air goodness.
Thank you for
and
joining
I
us,
will-
brother. You have a good one, okay?
Catch you next time. You take care.
See you, brother.
take care.
Guy's awesome. I love Draco. He's just like, he doesn't, like, he won't say anything for like 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden he'll drop like this perfect pearl. You're like, yeah, that's a great point. Oh, wait, Nick. Can't hear you, Nick. Can't hear you, brother. Your mic went down.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear Steven. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. No, Nickweiser.
Are you on a call?
I thought he was rather quiet for a while. I was like, did we like squeeze Nick out of the conversation?
I've
I
not
didn't
been able to hear you the whole time. That sucks.
Can't hear you, brother. Do you want to leave and come back? All right. He'll be back. Vigilante, not a huge EFAP guy. Curious to hear what that's about. Not that I am like going to be like, why? Why not, bro? Why not? Just curious what you think. I find them intimidating at times, to be completely honest.
EFAB?
That's the every frame of pause guys, the 10-hour streamers.
Ah.
You should check out Mauler's videos, though. Mauler's videos are amazing, especially his Star Wars content. Like what
Ooh, You're
dude.
not selling what I buy.
You're not into Star Wars?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. Well then
I mean, I like the original 3, but I haven't given any time to the new ones because
no.
they
What
don't
he
deserve
does
it.
is he destroys the new ones. Like he rips them to shreds, but he does it in such an articulate and thorough way. I mean, when he's done, there's nothing but like a husk of what was left. It's like it's undeniable his insight. At least that's how I feel about it.
Well, great.
That's right. Right. He's intimidating. He is intimidating. They're both kind of intimidating. Rags too. So I saw him, like,
Intelligence is intimidating, man.
Well, yeah, I saw him like turn on Drinker one time though, like in a stream, like for that Haunting at Hill House, whatever sequel. And I was like, dude, that's Drinker. Take it easy. What are you doing? Relax. And Rags was going for him. I was like, ugh, these guys are kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot.
I saw the first one.
I didn't see any of it. Did you like it? It's the show, right?
Oh no, I'm talking about the movie.
Oh no, I don't know. I think it's
House on Haunted Hill. I'm thinking of.
I honestly don't even know. I'm not a big horror guy. You like horror?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean,
the only big horror movies I watched was from chicks I was with that liked horror movies.
That's how I feel about Snapchat. I'm like, I have Snapchat if like there's a girl who wants to talk on it, but that's really about it.
Snapchat.
Yeah. Have you seen anything recently that's interesting or notable, Steven?
Time Trap. You need to watch it.
Oh, that's right. I have that thumb drive somewhere.
Anyone in your bag?
Anyone in the chat ever seen? It's in the bag. Oh,
you put it in your bag when you left.
Yeah. All right, I know where it is. Anyone in the chat ever seen Time Trap? I've never even heard of this movie.
2017. It's fairly recent.
Yeah, Steven's convinced it's like one of the greatest things ever.
Oh, I mean, I just really enjoyed it. I went in with kind of high expectations because the trailer was cool, and in the movie, I was just like, oh my gosh, I love this movie. This is so good. I love being like surprised, especially if you've never heard about the movie. Yeah.
Like, we were talking the other day about Primer.
Oh man.
I had no idea.
So good. Yeah. It's only like an hour and 12 minutes long too. It's like the shortest actual film I've ever seen.
Yeah, one of them for sure. I mean, there's a bunch of horror movies that like are 80, 70 something minutes, but like it's really short and it moves at breakneck pace too. Like it doesn't slow down at all. But I had no idea what it was. I saw it on Netflix streaming when that was like new. And I was just like, all right, what's Primer? And I just popped it on. I was blown away. Like,
oh yeah.
As soon as it was over, I started and watched the whole thing again. Like
it's so good.
So good. And then I just stayed up. I stayed up all night, like reading papers on it, explaining what it was all about. It's fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm. It's like one of the most realistic, I think, portrayals of what time travel would be.
Check. All right.
We got you, buddy. You're back. Oh, where'd he go?
Check, bud.
Check. Wait, where he keeps going? He's
hello.
Yeah, we keep you.
All right.
We got you, buddy. What's going on? He keeps pumping in and out.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I think I meant to say popping. The Illuminati's after him. Yeah. He said too many things contrary to the programming. Gotta watch yourself. Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Oh, also notable about Con Air is the guard bishop is the girl, like the love interest from Total Recall.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she's the girl who, what's her name? Melina, who's like his Hauser's babe.
Interesting.
That's another movie I would definitely do a stream about. I fucking love Total Recall.
I got to see Total Recall again.
Excellent.
It's been a while.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
It's really good.
It's so good. It's so perfect. And it's the guy, what's his name? It's Verhoeven, Peter Verhoeven, same guy who did Starship Troopers.
Oh, Starship Troopers. That's probably the best bad movie I like.
A lot of the choices of the badness of it were intentional.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And that's why I like it. Because like this is bad because it's trying it's trying to be a comic book version of itself, I feel.
Yeah.
In the live action. Like, and it's done well. The armor, what they're wearing, the guns, like just the overemphasis of like the exaggeration of fighting the bugs
it's great.
It's I love the movie. It's so good.
It's so awesome. It's so much fun and it's so silly and over the top and ridiculous. Like there's like Like, what is the battle strategy? There's like 17 soldiers like surrounding one bug, and it takes like 4,000 rounds of ammunition to bring it down. It's like, this isn't a very efficient battle strategy, guys. I don't feel like this is going to pay off.
Yeah. As you're seeing dudes getting like arms bitten off, bodies bitten in half.
It's great.
It's like, why don't they have better armor? Like, what's happening?
How come they don't have tanks or anything?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Why are you sending in ground units? You know it takes 5, at least one of theirs, and they have 1 million. So what are you doing?
It's great.
Like,
here we go. Here's Nick.
Bro, hi guys.
What's up, buddy?
I think what happened is I think maybe my webcam just needed a replug.
Okay.
You know, time just somehow magically, just like your plugs just magically just come apart over time. I just did. I'm like, what's not being replugged here? I'm like, oh, I should check the webcam plug, because it seemed like I was getting on with you guys and I was getting up, but the problem was I was turning my camera on, but but the sound was starting to come back right after. The sound was initially the problem. I'm like, oh man, okay.
But we missed you, man.
Solved.
Like, there was like a long stretch where like I felt like I hadn't heard from you, and I was like, I hope it doesn't feel like we're freezing him out of the conversation. Like,
no, I was listening. I was listening. It was killer shit.
It was just like, no, I can't hear you. I was thinking maybe wrap it up. I think we hit 2 hours. You know, I feel like that's a pretty solid stream. We covered a lot of Con Air conversation. But Nick, I wanted to give you a chance to plug your channel, brother. So. Plug away, my friend.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. So obviously, on my right corner, 32 Flavors of Nickweiser is the name.
It's in the description too. The link is in the description.
If you want to get technical, that youtube.com/Nick's Toxic Waltz. I just put up a food review on some JR Jim Ross beef jerky from WWE and some Trader Joe's items. So
that's awesome.
It's a total slobber knocker. Watch that. I lose my mind on that video, Dave Portnoy style, Barstool Sports a la.
That's
also,
awesome.
Of course, like every other goddamn nerd on the planet, I'm covering The Mandalorian. And I'm also got some, I'm going to do for any metalheads in the chat, if they're there, I'm going to do a best of 2020 list coming your way shortly. So it's going to get real heavy and nasty and filthy up in these parts. And of course, I got the Latino Slants, X-Felix and Chill, which is the X-Files live stream we do every Thursday night. So on your time, it's going to be 9 p.m. On my time, Central Time, it's 11. Ooh, Eric K., you got to send me that jerky, man. I see that post. You send me that shit, dude. Let's work something out. So
that's pretty dope. I'd be curious how he does that.
Yeah,
make a video, Eric K. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. I was like, I want jerky. So yeah.
I love jerky.
Oh, big fan. So yeah, I'm covering The Mandalorian, X-Flix and Chilled Latino Slant Thursday. I do the Mandalorian Roundtable, the Real Review 3000 as well. And of course, Howling About Entertainment with Jake D, both on Sunday nights, back to back each, which is obviously lots of Mando talk for 3 to 4 or 5 hours, which is beautiful. And of course, I'm gonna start doing my own live streams later this month, and it's gonna be fucking glorious.
Fucking excited, man. I'm happy for you. You bang out the content. It's really fun to stream with you. And like you're saying, shouts to Jake D. He's doing the Howling About Entertainment. Does it every Sunday. It's at 3:15 Central, or what time is it?
For my time, it's 5:15. For you, it's 3:15.
Yeah, that's right. I managed to. I popped in on a few of those too. I big fan of Jake D. Hail Jake D. And everyone watching, man, go subscribe to Nickweiser. He's a blast, dude. He's like rock and roll. He's like trying different foods, talking nerd culture, talking culture war. It's awesome. It's a good channel.
Thank you, and thank you, Foulball Matt, for having me on. I appreciate talking Con Air. Like, we could obviously we definitely understand this particular era, so I am always open to talking about these type of movies. And Mr. Smarter, it was a pleasure meeting you. By the way,
my friend, you too.
Absolute pleasure. And if we have even just this round of gentlemen, I'm just saying I'm open to it.
I'm down, dude. We probably should like touch all those 90s movies. Probably should do like The Rock and The Fifth Element, all that shit. That'd be great.
Date, place, and time.
Fuck yes. Stay tuned for that. Steven, you want to plug your business?
Sure. Actor here, Los Angeles. StephenMarter.com. Look at my personal content. Also a photographer. Smarter Photography 1 on Instagram. Smarter Photography on Facebook. Check it out.
What's the show that you're on right now?
I recently was just on General Hospital, a couple episodes. Newest season 58, episode 46 and 51.
There you go. Check
I
them
get
out.
I get roughed up. I play a total beta. It's fun to see. You should totally check it out.
Oh, now I'm sold.
Totally check it out.
That's all they let us play. Yeah. I fucking A, man. Steven's a good dude. Good dude. I happy to have you here too, man. This is fun. I finally.
Yeah, bro. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was great.
It's awesome. And everyone else, man, just you guys know the channel. Check it out. I'm gonna be banging out those Expanse streams. I know Nickweiser's like, I don't have the time to pump out 3. Neither do I generally, but I'm really trying to get them all done before the new season comes out. So I'm like packing my days full of Expanse streams. So I did one today. I did like 3 yesterday, 2 the day before. I'm banging them out to get through them all. But yeah, check out this stuff. We're doing lots of live streams. This Saturday, me and my buddy Lindsay were talking Christmas Chronicles. And that was a direct recommendation from you, Nick, and Jake. It was going to be a different movie, so we switched it to the Christmas Chronicles because you guys are so passionate about it. So we're going to do 1 and 2. We're going to watch them and talk about it. And Lindsay's fun. Lindsay's a blast to stream with. So
yeah, she seems like a fun person. So I caught a good vibe from her. So hopefully we'll all get to interact shortly.
Hell yeah, that would be great. Maybe you can pop in on the Christmas Chronicles on Saturday if you're around.
Oh God, depends on the time. Usually I work during the day, but if it's after 4 or 5, I'll be around.
Okay,
So
I'll put the link. Yeah, I'll link you on the Discord if you want to pop in.
Sounds great, brother.
Fucking A.
Thanks again for having me on. This has been fun.
This is a blast. and by the way, hail chat, hail Eric K. Fucking mighty nerdrotic wrench. Great to see you as always, brother. And Vigilante man, fucking A. It's good to see you guys for sure. This is a rocking time. So thanks for checking us all out. And this was really fun. We'll see you guys on the future. In the future. You know what I'm saying. Later, guys.
Yeah. Bye.